Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Arrests of 2 people in Foley resulted in the seizure of 1,600 fentanyl pills at their home. 21-year-old Matthew Kreider and 22-year-old Bailey Hart are facing multiple drug trafficking charges. The arrests of the 2 come after a 3-month-long investigation of the fentanyl sales going on in Baldwin County. And Winter Jam is holding its kickoff tour this weekend in Mobile. The Christian music tour will involve 40 U.S. cities. The event will be held at the University of South Alabama Mitchell Center. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Sky Mosley for your hometown conservative newspaper, the Alabama Gazette. Published in beautiful downtown Montgomery, serving the river region and central Alabama proper for over 24 years, always under the banner of God, family, and country. You can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout the area and an excellent value for your advertising dollar. The Gazette provides you with a ready-made audience that shares your values, beliefs, and principles. Give them a call, 356-6700. Advertising with the Alabama Gazette is surprisingly affordable and extremely effective. 356-6700, the Alabama Gazette. Honest, informative, trustworthy, your conservative alternative newspaper. Real local news from real local people. The Alabama Gazette, they are most worthy of your support. Pro-life, pro-family, pro-America. 356-6700, give them a call. The Alabama Gazette, the people's paper.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WINNING for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code WINNING. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WINNING for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WINNING.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that is an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
Thank you, Dr. Pepper, and thank you, Chancellor, or Dr. Paper, and thank you, Chancellor.
I got hairy legs.
How dare you?
I got words.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
It's not just about sex.
Stop playing with it.
This afternoon, we've seen a whole lot of table banging.
Hey, listen, I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a fella in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his can.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views. On a Friday. A stormy Friday at that. In studio with me, we have Eddie Bader. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing wonderful, Joey. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And we also have from 1819 News, Craig Monger. How you doing today, Craig?
I'm just finding the frog's hair, Joey. How are you?
Finding the frog's hair.
Fine as frog hair.
Well, that's a good place to be. Well, gentlemen, there's so many spots to begin with, but maybe we should keep our kind of down home, sweet, syrupy, sweet accent. Talk about, I'm just going to turn into Lindsey Graham for a moment.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm all sorts of lathered up. Seeing them finally, the Biden administration, we all know he's a puppet, but Jake Sullivan and Tony Blinken and even Lloyd Austin from his surgery bed, they were able to bomb them Houthis.
Yeah.
Because that's what's called deterrence.
And have you seen how they dress? Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord. The things on their head, they wear dresses.
They wear men in dresses. It's an abomination.
And they just kill each other and all this, and we just got to kill them more. Right back. We just got to be strong. That's deterrence. Oh, Lord, it's not deterrence. It's more like, hey, here's another action to just inflame and escalate things while we pretend like we're doing something really effective and good.
Well, finally now you can talk about Yemen without people looking at you like, huh? Say, huh? What about Yemen? It's like, oh, I don't know. We've just been facilitating their destruction, the Houthi people's destruction for quite some time, helping out the Saudis because that's what we do.
And that's the news that broke yesterday evening, that the U.S., along, I think, with several other nations, including the UK and the Netherlands and so many others, they strike the Houthis. They dropped some Tomahawk cruise missiles on them. And, of course, the Middle East is reacting in outrage. Saudi Arabia is like, hey, I thought we tamped down on this. Now we're going to fight the Houthis again? India now jumping into this whole situation, flexing their muscles, wanting to be, this actually could be a good development as they're sending their naval assets to that part of the world in order to help clean things up. But the Houthis are now vowing unimaginable revenge. So how's that for deterrence?
It's working the way it always has, right?
Oh, and it broke this morning that Iranian forces seized an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman.
They sure did.
So how's that for deterrence right there?
Yeah, wow. If you had mushroom cloud on your 2024 bingo sheet, then you might be in luck.
Yeah,
heading that way.
Yeah, it's perfect timing. I think, and the first person who told this to me direct was Judge Napolitano. He says, Joe Biden wants to be a wartime president going into the election. And here we go. Let's see how it all shakes out.
It's kind of ironic. When Trump was doing his town hall the other night, one thing he kept bragging about was no wars. No wars under me.
No wars whatsoever.
Negative one war, actually.
Yeah.
He got us out of Afghanistan. Right. And it's amazing that why you would want to be a wartime president whenever you can go 5 days without talking to your Secretary of Defense and not knowing he's in the friggin' hospital.
That's kind of why I'm suspect about the whole attack deal, because we went from a couple days ago saying that our Secretary of Defense was in the hospital and we didn't know anything about it. Now we have to show him as a position of strength. So we'll go blow some people up.
Yeah.
Let him make a comment on it.
And apparently Senator McConnell is now redoubling efforts to work with Biden and Schumer to make a deal on border security and aid to Ukraine. But the leaked Senate GOP border deal apparently gives the Democrats everything they want.
Yeah. Surprise?
This is according to Breitbart.com. The headline is Senate GOP border deal leaked migrants to get work permits, lawyers, green cards.
There you go, buddy. Wow. I told you. It doesn't matter what side. Right. Don't matter if they say they're Republicans or Democrats. They're both down with this program.
Yeah, the border deal would increase green cards by $50,000 a year, work permits for adult children of H-1B holders, immediate work permits to every illegal alien released from custody.
That's everyone.
Taxpayers funded lawyers to, certain groups and the mentally incompetent aliens. Well, that's just an ugly term. Expulsion authority for a limited number of days only if encounters exceed 5,000 a day over a 7-day period. So that's a very particular, frame that you're going to set up. And restricts parole for those who enter without authorization between ports of entry. Rand Paul is coming out and says, hey, this ain't...
Good. Glad somebody's standing up.
This ain't right. It says, we'll let 5,000 people come in illegally a day, and then after that we might try to stop the next 5,000, Senator Paul said. It's a complete sellout.
Yeah. So, Joey, you can do 5,000 crimes a day, but if you do 5,001, we're coming for you.
Right. Exactly.
Now, you've reached your limit, you little scamp.
5,000, you got to be tired. Take a break, Joey.
And then this one is massive. This is from Bill Malugin from Fox News. Said, in overnight DOJ filing, the feds confirm The Texas National Guard has deployed armed soldiers and vehicles to block federal government from accessing the river in Eagle Pass, and Texas informed them that no Border Patrol agents will be allowed to enter Shelby Park, quote, in any operational capacity. This is a significant escalation by Texas after feds fought to remove their water barriers and razor wire. The DOJ is suing Texas over its new border security law. This is potentially setting up to be the biggest state versus federal fight in a very, very long time, in the sense that you literally have men with guns kind of standing
American on American,
facing each other down.
Yeah.
Well, God bless the Republic of Texas.
Exactly.
That's all I gotta say.
They've been threatened to succeed for quite a while. This might just push them over the limit, Joey.
So much to get to today, but it just seems like the wheels are falling off as we are entering into 2024.
And we ain't got no brakes either.
Yeah, no brakes at all.
No brakes, man.
But then, you know, there's these weird things. When you look at the presidential race, the Trump town hall got nearly 2 million more viewers than the DeSantis-Haley CNN debate. I think Vivek continues to call his shot in Iowa.
Yeah.
And I was making the point yesterday that if Vivek gets, say, a second-place finish, like he's not showing up on most polling in Iowa. If he gets a strong finish, like, say, second place behind Trump, that is not just a huge victory for Vivek Ramaswamy. It's a huge victory for anybody who believes in new media. And by the way, new media doesn't just mean online media, because the more I hear commentary from the likes of Ben Shapiro, you're just bought and paid for corporate shills as well, man.
Oh, Joey.
No, I'm so tired of this crap.
Yeah?
That here's our approved candidates. It's the Ron Paul forever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm so tired of videos saying Ron Paul was right. Why don't we listen to somebody first instead of always just looking back in hindsight? So as Trump continues to dominate despite the legal troubles, as you see them trying to play this game of, okay, we'll get everybody out except for like one puppet like Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis, I'll be straight. I'm happy to vote for DeSantis in the general. I don't know about you gentlemen, but I'll vote for Trump.
Nikki, for sure.
But I'll vote for DeSantis. I'll vote for Vivek Ramaswamy, of course.
Yeah.
And in fact, Rand Paul, you know, since I mentioned him earlier, he came out with an interesting announcement this morning. He decided to say that he's going to do a big endorsement. That's how he previewed it.
Oh, yeah?
Yesterday. But Rand Paul came out and said he's #never Nikki. I'm still trying to work through. Am I supporting Trump? Am I supporting DeSantis? Am I supporting Vivek? I even like some of what RFK Jr. says Rand Paul. But I know for certain, even though I'm undecided on that front, that I will never support Nikki Haley.
Never Nikki.
Well, thank you, Rand Paul, for actually standing up
Put that
and
on a
doing
t-shirt,
that.
buddy.
Because we need more people within positions of power. It's one thing for commentators like us or people with big platforms, unlike us, to come out and say, hey, this is how we have to do things. But to have a sitting senator come out and say, hey, I'm not going this way with the Republican Party. We're not going back to the era of the Bushes. And don't take it my word for it. Here's Rand Paul himself.
Good morning, everyone. As I told you yesterday, I'm ready to say something about the presidential race. I've had a long relationship with Donald Trump, and there's a lot to like there. I'm also a big fan of a lot of the fiscal conservatism of Ron DeSantis. I think Vivek Ramaswamy has been an important voice. Also have listened to and met with the independent Bobby Kennedy. I'm not yet ready to make a decision, but I am ready to make a decision on someone who I cannot support. So I'm announcing this morning that I'm Never Nikki. And if you go to nevernikki.net, you can let her know that you're not a supporter either. I don't think any informed or knowledgeable libertarian or conservative should support Nikki Haley. I've seen her attitude towards our interventions overseas. I've seen her involvement in the military-industrial complex, $8 million being paid to become part of the team. But I've also seen her indicate that she thinks you should be registered to use the internet, that people posting ideas anonymously. I think she fails to understand that our republic was founded upon people like Ben Franklin, Sam Adams, Madison, John Jay, and others who posted routinely. For fear of the government, they posted routinely anonymously. And I think her failure to really understand that, or to think that you should register through the government somehow for the internet, is something that should disqualify her in the minds of all libertarian-leaning conservatives. So I'm announcing today I'm Never Nikki. You can go to nevernikki.net and sign up and show her that you're never Nikki also. Thanks.
Again, Senator Rand Paul.
Live from a hurricane.
Yeah, the old windsock mic.
Bit of a wind tunnel there. But, yeah, it's interesting seeing all these battlegrounds being drawn. I'm interested, Craig, if you've had time to see all the different cliques competing on, say, social media like the X platform on the Republican side of the aisle.
No, I have not.
So, like, there is clearly a camp of DeSantis support out there. There's clearly all Trump all day, every day. There's now a very strong presence for Vivek Ramaswamy.
Really, I knew about the Trump and DeSantis. It seemed like that was going to be the duality of this election from the get-go. It was going to be Trump versus DeSantis,
right?
Going into the primary. But Vivek has come out and he honestly kind of took a page from Donald Trump's book. Trump started going on all these Zoomer podcasts all of a sudden and doing all this stuff, which was really interesting because he's hilarious. And Vivek did that pretty quickly, pretty swiftly, and he's been doing it for the past several months, and he's just really come out of the woodwork. And DeSantis has kind of been lackluster.
Right.
I don't think this was the year for him to run. But he just looks uncomfortable up there. It's bizarre to see.
Though I'd imagine we could agree, like, that if DeSantis is on the ticket in the general election by some crazy thing, I wouldn't mind voting for him.
Yeah, correct. And I don't think I think a lot of Trump supporters would probably do that as well, despite the fact that you have absolute troglodytes like Laura Loomer out there trying to make, to make bricks without straw. And everything DeSantis does is, he made up this woman who did such and such. She's an atrocious person.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, though. It's gotten really nasty.
It's ugly. I hate
online. It really has gotten ugly. But, Laura Loomer's like, DeSantis has banned me, Nikki Haley's folks have banned me, and Vivek Ramaswamy's folks just let me hang out. I'm like, yeah, because they're going to take your answers. They're going to take your abuse. Like, they're not going to get rid of you.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing.
It's almost like it's like this thing with people on Twitter. It's like so-and-so blocked me. It's like, yeah, because you're an obnoxious dunderhead who makes stuff up and won't leave them alone.
Right.
You're just a pest. Why wouldn't I block you?
Right.
Now let's go to Soldier Boy's been very patient. How you doing today, Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy. Great. Hey, got a couple points here. First of all, I want to thank you for taking my call. Death to Joey, but not to any other American. I want to say hello and thank you to Two Pies over there. Two Pies, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing, buddy?
And Mr. 1776, Greg or Craig, which one is it?
It's
Craig the
Craig.
Fishmonger.
Yes.
Okay, what year is it? Your newspaper is that 1776?
It's 1819, but close enough.
Close enough.
Buy the
Close
hoodie.
enough. Okay, couple talking.
Hold on.
points.
Did you
First,
say death to Joey, but all other Americans are cool?
Except for Joey.
Yeah, except for Joey.
Oh, except for Joey. Okay. Thought you were saying death to Joey, and it's like, get out of my head.
Yeah. Okay, first talking point is, first of all, talking point number one, because you always say I'm scattered, mine, so I got organized.
Uh-oh, you wrote them down.
Talking point one. Chuck Schumer, yesterday he spoke and said, quote unquote, he actually slipped and said, we need some more illegal aliens to pick our vegetables.
And to fix these
Did you hear that?
Yes.
He
Well,
slipped.
was that Schumer or Jerry Nadler also said something?
Oh, that
like
was Nadler. Mister, I got my pants all the way up to my chest. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you would too if you had front butt developing.
Dude, you see that?
Well, here's the thing about it is he said that we need people to pick our vegetables. A little racist comment that was, okay? Second of all, we don't have enough people that want to work in the fields. And second of all, third of all, he wanted to go ahead and say we need to have more people on this planet made in the United States because we're not having enough babies, okay? Way to go, Mr. Pants up to his nipples, okay?
I'm convinced that
number
Nadler is actually Ruth Bader Ginsburg just without the hair.
Yeah,
I do too.
right, with a little bit of prosthetic work.
Yeah.
I'm convinced Jerry Nadler sits down on the toilet bowl facing the tower.
Oh, God, he mounts it. I mounted like a horse, baby. Hey, second talking point yesterday. MSNBC did that little Russian Cosmo female Morning Joe's wife. Is that her name? What's her name?
Mika.
Yeah, Mika Kelly.
Mika. Oh, she's a Russian plant. I've seen the movie Salt before. She's one of them, okay? She comes there and asks Jill. Jill says, I can't believe the doctor said that. She goes, I'm so proud of my son and everything he's done. Wait a minute. Are you proud of your son who called you the C word on the internet and the email? Really? I'm not used to the word cat. I'm close though.
Right.
He used the C word. He called her the C word.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I heard you the first time.
How can you, wait a minute. If I called my mother that, she would disown me so quick it's pathetic and throw me out of the family. Okay, number three, let's talk about number three. I believe Joe Biden and his administration are responsible for all the murders, the rapes, and killing of all the children in Israel. What is the first thing? Let's follow the chain link connection here. As soon as he came into office, did he not take the Houthis off the terrorist listing of terrorists?
Yeah, I think that happened very early.
That's right. That's right. He did that. And in the same month, he goes ahead and lifts the embargo. Am I correct?
No, I don't. I don't think that's true, actually.
No, he didn't lift the oil embargo, which they sold to Russia and to China. That's where they got all their monies to feed and give all that money for all the weapons, for all the proxies. That's what Iran is doing. They're just funneling. They're like, what do you call it? When they
they did lift the, yeah, they lifted sanctions on Iran.
I thought he was talking about the Houthi sanctions.
Yeah.
No, those are still
No. But they lifted the name of the terrorist watch group because Trump called them, labeled them in the State Department as terrorists.
And then they lifted sanctions off Iran, which, that's correct.
Which is the same thing as lifting it off the Houthis, am I correct?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's a proxy. So I take that money, billions and billions, and didn't they in the same year, did he not drop the nuclear thing that we had on Iran?
Or they tried to renegotiate the JCPOA or whatever.
And what was
crap
Trump's word? No negotiating, baby.
Right.
Do this, and this is what's going to happen. And how many times Israel has attacked them with cybers and tried to set down their little, what do you call it, little spitting things? Their little
centrifuge.
Yeah, jack them up really bad, okay? And so if they take that money and give it to the proxies, and the proxies fire them at our American soldiers and fire them at Israel, well, come on, Joe. You're the one that pulled the embargo lift so they could sell all that damn oil to get the money to do the weapon buying. The connection there. Topic number four. Number four and final number four. Was it announced yesterday that the Attorney General, State Attorney General of New York, okay, and then the District Attorney of Fulton County, both have documents of them going to the White House. Now, how many times has this fake president said he had nothing to do with this indictment and the indictments against Trump? He had nothing. He didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And then they announced last night again they were seen at Kamala's house.
Right. Yeah, this is Letitia James, and then before that it was the Fannie Willis's lover. And,
Before the indictments were slapped on Trump and while during the trial.
Yes.
What is she going over there for? Lawn tips, for her fertilizer in her front yard?
They're probably talking about their golf game. Remember when Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton met on that plane?
They talked about grandchildren.
Yeah, they're talking about grandchildren and golfing.
They're talking about the grandchildren. Okay, they're talking about the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't be talking about grandchildren because none of them have any kids.
Clinton's got kids.
Who?
Bill Clinton's got kids.
No, they didn't go to Clinton's house. They went to the vice president's house, Kamala Harris's house, and both of them were there at different times, went inside and spent hours at the White House talking to the administration, too. Was that a coincidence? Out of 50 states, one attorney general just happens to go to the White House and talk to the president and vice president. It's on the roll list when you sign into the White House.
Well, and maybe they were talking about, even though they have extensive roles of responsibility and power, that they still feel oppressed and under siege. Because they're black women.
There are no consequences.
They're playing
they can do what they want to do. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, what's happened? The runway deal. Everybody knew what happened. Everybody knew the deal. Nothing.
And didn't our false president, didn't he also try to give some billions and billions of dollars of release from a Swiss bank to Iran?
Yeah, frozen assets were unfrozen. But I appreciate the call, Soldier Boy. It's a good little rundown there.
How do you freeze money? And then they turn around and then fire at our ships?
How do you do that? They just did it.
I know they did. Right, exactly. Thanks, guys.
See you, homie. He's a little angry.
So that's a long-winded way of telling us that we're ruled by morons and capricious individuals.
Yeah, but that's going to change soon because we get to vote this time.
Yay, we
all get to vote, so we can change.
We didn't vote last time?
Well, we didn't vote right.
Or hard enough.
That was it. We didn't vote hard enough.
I am
We
once
vote
again
really hard this time.
endorsing Stone Cold Steve Austin for president of the United States. Just a reminder, folks.
Oh, I'd go with some Steve Austin.
Can you
President.
imagine the press, the fear in the press corps as they're trying to interview him? President Austin, and he say, "What?" It'd be great. It'd be the best.
Right. And then he'll have get Christian back that he called what, CLB? That'll be the press secretary.
He comes at 2:00 in the morning after we've assassinated some terrorist leader. He just cracks open a beer. It's like, all right, who wants to know?
Well, coming up, we do have some state stories, some that even Craig Munger here wrote up.
Excellent.
Did the reporting on them, so we'll get to those in a second. And plenty of clips, plenty of craziness going on around the board, including there's a great, it's one of those where you read directly from the regime's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Axios, headline on Drudge. So this is like straight up regime propaganda right here. And there's always a little bit of truth in regime propaganda, but the reason that they're overblowing this is the headline was MAGA Preachers and the Dawn Divine.
Oh, boy.
MAGA Preachers and the Dawn Divine. Ooh, we'll get into that in a second. That apparently there are all these now internet preachers with huge followings who are talking about things like Christian nationalism and that, Trump might be Jesus or something.
Oh, boy.
Well, I don't know about the last part, but the first part I might know a few of them personally. Can I take a real quick privilege?
Sure.
Jerry? Hi, Haddon. I love you. That's it. Sorry, my son's watching
Oh,
on the TV.
Hey, what's up, little dude? So, and then also, we've got this John Hopkins thing that talks about how, like, I'll put it this way. They put out who's privileged when it comes to working in the university system and working in general in life. And now it was so bad, the DEI office there at Johns Hopkins has retracted it. And this has happened multiple times where something in the name of diversity, equity, inclusion, or critical race theory, or just, being fair and reading and recognizing the injustices of history. Sorry, I went all AOC there. Sometimes what you realize is that, no, y'all are just straight up being mean and bigoted. Dumb.
Just dumb.
So we have plenty to get to. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro Services, Ashley and her team are ready to help you out with any of your potential pest control problems. That could be termites, right?
Yeah, it could be termites. We could have, actually, let's see, we're in the wintertime now, so La cucarachas are on the chill, but they'll be coming back pretty soon. So you might as well plan on getting your regular treatment set up because you're going to have termites for sure. They're coming. In Alabama, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter when it's a matter, or it doesn't matter if, it's a matter of when. We have wet temperatures like we're going into now.
Mm-hmm.
They love that wet, dark kind of stuff. But it takes years to do damage, but it's important to get a pest control company out there, find it, and treat it.
Yes.
And if you have a regular service, it's more likely they'll find it.
Exactly right. Yeah. And it's always better to prevent the termite damage.
Oh, big time, man. Big time.
So call up Pest Pro today. They'll come out with the Termidor HB2 injection unit.
That's right. You'll be impressed.
It's an impressive unit.
You'll be impressed.
Is. And, of course, any of your pest control needs, they got your back. So call them today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there at Pest Pro that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you more News and Views after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m. If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house. So is Craig Munger of 1819 News. What was that?
I said back 18 then.
Deutsches. Just don't. But you had a great write-up about the AA-NEA connection, and it's not like you had to, be like Charlie Day with like your, string on the wall there. This ain't some conspiracy. This is like you use their own words they said in public.
Yeah, it's not a Pepe Sylvia situation. It's an email. I'm not going to get my Pulitzer for this one, but yeah.
So the headline, folks, at 1819news.com, you can read it yourself, is NEA boast about AEA efforts killing school choice, securing pay raises for teachers and nurses. So sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what's going on here? What was the tone?
Well, first of all, I didn't pick this headline picture. I picked a much more flattering one that was probably my editor, and I love him for it.
Eddie, you seeing this one?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's important because no matter where you go in the state, when you look at these state affiliates for national organizations, they always try to downplay their connection, because in the case of national associations, they're always going to be a little bit more voraciously to the left. Right. And of course, the state affiliates are too, but they kind of have to downplay that a little bit. And anytime you talk to lawmakers, if you talk to the AEA, they kind of try to fudge a little bit their connection. But as we can see with the amount of money that the AEA gives to politicians, and now of course the NEA sort of braggadociously talking about how they did X, Y, and Z, it's kind of hard to make that claim so much these days. It happens with the Library Association too.
Right, and it's a shame that you can't have truly local institutions anymore. Everything seems to be paint by number from whatever the national agenda is.
Oh yeah, and that's the point. Is when you have these big unions, and that's what the NEA is, and the AEA, it's a union, it's a teachers union. Yep. Same with the Library Association, the National Library Association. It's a union, and labor don't do good in Alabama. So you kind of it's a tightrope game that they have to play. But yeah, it is unfortunate because the NEA is radically left, and so is the AEA. But they're not quite so loud about it.
For a second, I think they were trying a charm offensive with me and a few of our friends.
Oh yeah,
and I don't think
didn't work out very well.
No, because you know how cranky I am. You know how much I love turning down an invitation to do something?
Troll.
Like, really don't threaten me with a good reason to decline to show up to anything.
Yeah, and that's It's not my goal in life is not to like, oh, I'm going to come down and crush the AEA.
Right.
I'm just telling people what you're saying. When like a few weeks ago, when your I can't remember, it was like VP or something or another at the AEA was jokingly and laughingly pleading with his teachers, please don't sleep with your students or you'll get on Santa's naughty list. I didn't have to embellish that. I just wrote what you said. And I got so many messages from lawmakers and just ordinary people who were like, is this for real? Are you joking? I'm like, no, I'm not joking. That's why I put the picture up, because I didn't believe it as I was reading it.
Wow. Right.
And so like I don't have to try that hard. I'm telling people what you are saying. When you're trying to kill initiatives that the majority of the people in the state want, when you are jokingly addressing what is a legitimate problem across the nation, but even in the state, when you have teachers having sex with their students and you treat it with such flippancy and jokingly and almost like a mockery, people have a right to know what you're saying. And in this case, the NEA was just like, yay, the AAA secured pay raises for some nurses and teachers, and then this group, I can't even remember what they're called. I honestly don't even know what they do, but the main thing was they killed the school choice bill. And if the AA is taking credit for killing school choice bill, there's the school choice bill, there's a possibility that they didn't have that much of a role in it at all. But once again, when you look at the distribution of campaign donations from the AEA, and they say we met with lawmakers, and then this provision died, it stands to reason that they had some effect.
Yeah, exactly. They had some effect with it, and it never even got entertained on the floor. Like the Price Act came back, then this is the Education Savings Account thing, and it was in committees, but it never got entertained by the state or House or Senate.
Yeah, it made it through. I know it made it through the Senate committee with some amendments. I can't remember what happened in the House, but yeah, it went through one Senate committee. Then the chair of that Senate committee put it into another committee. It passed out of that committee, and then it was just a whole big bizarre thing. And even when it happened, the chair of the committee, whose name is escaping me at this moment, Larry Stutz, the sponsor of the bill, kind of just said, "Yeah, I get the political tactics here. I get it, but we need to get this thing moving." And he called it out right then and there at the committee meeting.
See, but I'm starting to feel a thing, seeing in hindsight the NEA celebrating the successes of last year's session with the AEA here in our great state of Alabama. I'm starting to feel this emotion I'm not used to. I think it's called hope. It's like, will we actually win and not just have to see the press releases of other folks winning? And I'm seeing a write-up from Jeff Poore at 1819 News where he sat down and watched who I've coined as the golden goose of Alabama, Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth. And apparently Will Ainsworth reiterated his 2024 New Year's resolutions that included passing school choice and fighting woke policies. I think the headline that really grabs his attention is, well, here's the quote from Ainsworth Direct. Quote, "And I'll say this, pay attention to the session. There will be some fireworks first few weeks. We're getting ready to run over some Democrats. It's going to happen.
Ooh.
It's time." That's pretty strong language from Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah. I mean, and I've actually spoken to him about this a few weeks ago personally and, did a write-up on it. And it seems like that's the case. And the thing that's odd here is whenever you make such a big sell going into it, like it's kind of difficult to produce something lackluster. Like,
right.
We're going to do this. This is the ambition. This is our goal, yada, yada, yada. And then you come out with some, plate of duty. People are going to be really disappointed. So when you have the governor talking about education savings account, the lieutenant governor talking about education savings account, so many lawmakers talking about it, it stands to reason that we're going to see something. Now, it will be really embarrassing for them if it's a nothing burger.
Like the gambling bills?
Yeah, well, like the gambling bill. Well, the gambling bill is...
They're going to try that again this year.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but they put out horrible bills.
Mm-hmm.
The people they work for say, hey, we want A, B, and C. And they come up and they go, we're going to give you a quarter of B, but nothing else.
Yeah.
And then they get upset when people think they suck. Hello?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the line that Ainsworth said in this, where he's talking about running them over, it's like that's been the complaint for constituents all the time, is because there's always this perception after it's done, well, we tried to do the best that we could, and but we have these people didn't want it. It's like, I'm sorry, you're a super majority. Right. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to give freebies away.
Right.
You operate in a super majority. It's like a regular majority, but it puts on a cape and fights crime.
Well,
That's how much of a majority it is.
I just never thought that in the midst of everything going on in this world, that it would be the Alabama legislature and the lieutenant governor, and to her credit, Governor Ivey, who are giving me a little bit of hope here that we can get something done. I'll put it this way, and I was talking about this the other day, Craig, that what you want is a home run. And you have literally, Alabama legislature, governor, lieutenant governor, been set. It's like T-ball. It's like a machine. You just got to push a button and that thing will be a home run.
Yeah.
And you know what? People will still cheer because everybody likes the long ball. Like, come on, hit these home runs. They're right there for you. Call your shot. Get it done. It seems that's what Ainsworth is up to. When is the session this year? Do they know yet?
Yeah, it's oh gosh, it's in February. The date is escaping me. I think it was early in February is whenever it
earlier
starts.
this year.
Earlier this
last
year.
year.
Well, because it's an election year. That's why.
That makes sense. And then there's also rumors, because we mentioned gambling, that within that regular session they're going to call a special session, like they did with ARPA money, or I think prisons before.
Yeah, it was ARPA money. Then before it was, what was it, Rebuild, and then prisons, something like that. There was 3 years in a row we've done a special session in the middle of session. But yeah, that seems to be what I'm hearing. But then again, they're not going to do that if they're not sure that they're going to pass it, because in the realm of embarrassment, that's the equivalent. That's the legislative equivalent of crapping your pants on stage. It's just not a good look.
Right.
So if they can't know that they're going to have agreement, especially in the Senate, is what I'm hearing, that the Senate is going to be where the sticking point is for this. If they can't get in, then we're probably not going to see anything at all. But that's unlikely to be the case because of the way things work. So we're almost certainly going to see some sort of gambling legislation, although nobody's laid eyes on it yet.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's all being worked in the back room. And like, how much more can we just shove into the Constitution here?
Yeah.
That should be everyday legislative work. Like the idea that you're going to try to tie the hands of any future legislature. I'm like, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, honestly, at this point with that particular gambling issue. I'd also love to see, and Ainsworth predicted this, the efforts to reform the selection of how the state health officer is selected is up for grabs this session. And Ainsworth, I think, said something to the effect of, we're going to work hard to get that done. That will be a fight, but it needs to happen for sure. Right now, he is appointed by the Massa board.
Yeah, say Massa. It's okay. It's an unfortunate name, but you have to say it that way.
And what's scary about that is you have an unelected official making decisions last time during the shutdown, and we've got to change that. Again, that is Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth. There's a reason this guy, I call him the Golden Goose, Alabama. Honk, honk.
And
fantastic
again,
stuff.
Yeah, you can chalk this up to political ambition if you wanted to, but nonetheless, even if that is the case, he knows what the people want. If his job in this is to appeal to the people that might be voting for him for, I don't know, let's just take some crazy idea and say that he might be running for governor at some point.
Right. Hey.
Then he definitely knows what the people want that is going to get him the most votes. And these are the subjects that he's choosing. And that should be, if we are a representative government, that should be what everyone's ambition is to do what the people want.
Right.
There you go. Makes too much sense, but we'll keep trying to get them to do it. We got to hit another break, but first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, they can help you. Again, that's River Region Contracting. Their number 356-8635. That's 356-8635. They have free inspections always, free estimates always. Their estimates are actually accurate.
Accurate. That's what I appreciate the most. That way, when they do the job, they don't come back with you and it's another $5,000.
Right. Well, and also they pride themselves on educating their customers on their roof. Yeah. So it's not like, they're not trying to pull something. They understand by doing business the right way, again, doing it on time, doing it for the amount they said they would do it, giving you free services up front to help you out. And especially with that inspection, they'll come out and inspect it. If you're good, they'll tell you that you're not on the hook for any money.
Right. Exactly right.
Again, that is River Region Contracting, a premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. River Region Contracting, 356-8635. That's 8635. Ask for Todd Clark and his team, and be sure to tell Todd and the team there that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the afternoon sent you. More news and views, well, after this quick break. All right.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Based on current information, it appears that the severe weather threat has eased up quite a bit. Still, though, the main threat will continue to be strong winds gusting 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour, which could take down some trees and cause some power outages as well. Temperatures in the 60s today, colder tonight, low 32, and breezy. Saturday, the sun returns, but a chilly day, high 49. I think we'll be up to about 54 on Sunday with more sun. You've probably heard by now, we have a big Arctic air outbreak arriving on Tuesday of next week. Get ready for a temperature crash. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you once again for voting ASE the best credit union and best mortgage company in Central Alabama's Reader's Choice Awards. We're honored to serve our members for 69 years and counting.
ASE Credit Union, your life, your goals, your ASE.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And ain't no troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Hey, it's Lyle from Marguerite's. We all want to wish you a wonderful, happy new year, 2024. We're building all new, beautiful jewelry for you. Of course, we remake things. If you have anything sitting around, bring it in. Let's see what we can do with it. Marguerite's is full service. We have the best jewelers around. We have the best gift wrappers around. We have the best merchandise around. We have the best pricing around. We have the best quality around. But I'm not bragging. We're darn good, though. Come in and see us at Marguerite's. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to a great 2024.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And hey, fellas, hey, guys, two things affect men the most as we mature. Low testosterone, which we often talk about in the show, but also, ED. I'll just say erectile dysfunction. It can happen. And it's nothing to deny, put off, or be ashamed about. And it's not something to wait to get fixed. Yeah, guys hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health was created to take care of guys just like us. I admit I don't like going to the doctor. No motivation maybe in your life right now, lack of energy, always tired. Perhaps you're seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, even a decrease in that sex drive of yours. Or maybe you just feel like you're walking through life in a fog. Well, knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating some of these issues. Did you know that age, testosterone and PSA checks should be a part of your annual men's health routine? A urologist recently suggested that men should start getting their T checked at even the age of 18. I didn't know that until I talked to Montgomery Men's Health. And so they can help you get informed about what's going on. And it's not just men in their 40s, 50s. Of course, that happens as you age. It's happening to folks younger and younger. And the providers at Montgomery Men's Health will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. They have low T treatments, too, that can truly change your life. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, and a faster metabolism.
Yeah.
You usually even notice an increased libido. So you can actually book the same day you call. Fellas, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. So call them today. That's 440-3663, 440-3663, or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. And be sure to say, hey, I heard about him on that News and View show with Joey and Eddie, and there was a guest there named Craig, too. Bonus points if you say that. So, as we have only a few minutes left in this hour, Soldier Boy brought up earlier, moving back to the national circus. Seriously, I'm amazed. Not only am I getting hope from state politics, I think actually state politics this go around, this session is going to be an oasis in the midst of just mind-numbing, mind-breaking nonsense.
Really?
Well, for instance, mind-numbing, mind-breaking nonsense. Here is the First Lady. You know how I feel about First Ladies. I kind of feel the same way as Bill Burr. It's like, well, I'll put it this way, ladies, since y'all are so sensitive, like, oh, he just doesn't like women. If Kamala Harris, let's say Joe Biden croaks, Kamala Harris becomes president.
Okay.
I don't want to hear a damn word Doug has to say. All right?
You sure?
I'm sure. Shut up, Doug. You weren't elected.
He might tell a guy like you how to end up with a hot woman like her. She's the president, by the way.
Are you high?
Just telling you, Joey. You're a single guy. There might be some information you could learn from Doug.
Anyway, here's the First Lady currently, Jill Biden. And this is, I guess, has to do with Hunter. And what we called it months ago. The defense for Hunter Biden would be like, the Republicans are just being mean.
Just meanies.
They're just so mean. And in the words of Anna Navarro of The View, and Joe just loves Hunter.
He's a loving father.
He's a loving father. Yes, yeah. But so here's Jill playing that game.
Change. And I took that to Joe, and he said yes and signed the executive order. So
Amazing.
We're on our way.
How have you been coping personally with the onslaught of accusations against your husband and your family, including and especially Hunter? It's the focus of a House Oversight Committee hearing, holding him in contempt, obsessing over him, showing pictures of him during vulnerable moments in his battle with addiction on the floor of the House. This would crush any family.
Mika, I think what they are doing to Hunter is cruel. And I'm really proud of how Hunter has rebuilt his life after addiction. You know, I love my son, and it's hurt my grandchildren. And that's what I'm so concerned about, that it's affecting their lives as well.
What do you think when you hear?
If she wasn't so full of crap, I'd have a little bit of empathy for her. But she's so full of crap, man. Hollow out old bat.
Yeah,
needs to go somewhere.
And again, coming from someone who has smoked enough crack to fill the room that we're in, I am sympathetic to the plight of addiction and the poor decisions that it can cause you to make. Crack is an especially bad one because it has a certain effect that not many other drugs do of actually taking over your reasoning faculties and making you do things that you wouldn't otherwise not do, like draining your savings account just to like.
That's why I've heard people make the joke is like, I'm going to go to the most enclosed room and I'm going to build a spaceship.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And the way I've described it is whatever money you have when you walk into whatever establishment you're purchasing this product from, it no longer belongs to you after you take the first hit. It's not yours anymore.
Right. Wow.
He's driving the car, and his name is Crack. Now, that being I could tell you crack stories all day long, but I'm saying I'm sympathetic to the addicted person's plight.
Sure.
But that being said, that's not what we have here. We have someone who was just kind of a bit of a party animal and used his father's clout in order to gain himself gainful employment and lots of money. That isn't the same thing as, like, I'll give you an example. I wasn't thrilled with a lot of the jokes that were made about Homeboy and Leeds, who jumped into the Bass Pro, yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, I mean, I get the humor behind it, but also at the same time, it's like, man, he really is having just a really bad time, this guy. Now, by all means, I'm not a snowflake here. Make all the jokes you want.
Okay, because that pool looked really cold.
Yeah.
Apparently that water was super cold in there.
I honestly thought it was a lady when I saw the unedited picture. And I'm not kidding. I thought it was a lady. But
Or it could have just been warm in a micro, you know.
Yeah. But yeah,
Some people have a micro penis. Excuse me.
Hunter Biden is not someone who is overtaken by the talons of addiction and made poor decisions. This is someone who was born into privilege and opulence and has behaved like a spoiled child ever since. It's not taking responsibility to do what he's done, to go and play the victim and say sad and be like, yeah, guys, that wasn't my finest hour, and it's super embarrassing, and I hate it. And about this Burisma stuff, X, Y, and Z, let me give an explanation. That's not what's happening. He's compiling and mushing his love for crack cocaine and European prostitutes with his business dealings using his father, making this one big amalgamation. And it's like, aren't the Republicans being mean to me?
And I kind of like the running theory that you can explain his addictive, destructive behavior. Now, I mean, have you ever slept with your brother's widow?
No. I don't have any brothers.
Yeah, right. But
I
come
disqualify
on,
from that.
Come on. But no, I think a lot of this destructive and addictive behavior can be, in large part, explained by what he was doing for the family, for Joe, being the bag man, being the guy that had to go out there, use the Biden name. We don't care if it's legitimate or if you're just taking somebody for a ride. Remember, Tony Bobulinski says, they ripped me off for millions.
Yeah.
They just shut off the corporation and took millions of dollars that were mine. And I'd imagine Bobulinski wasn't the first person they did that sort of thing to.
No, of course not.
And so can you imagine, I can imagine that would lead you to a life of addiction and just debauchery.
Sure.
It's called self-medication for a reason. What are you self-medicating?
But at the same time, he might have had that experience when he was young. He liked it. He said, hey, you know what? I want to be a bag man. This is a good life for me.
Right. And I like crack, and I like
prostitutes and drugs,
and I like
liquor.
whores. Yeah. So
I mean, and so I can't have no sympathy.
And then now that he's caught and it's a big political issue, it's like you're just being so mean, so cruel to Hunter.
Don't buy it.
Yeah, if it was the case, like that he had escaped his addiction and he had gotten better and he had gotten help, yada yada yada, why do you still have those pictures on your laptop, dog? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
It seems like I don't know about you. I don't keep pictures of things that I'm embarrassed about. I keep pictures of things that I want to reminisce about, that I want to go back to, that I'm fond of.
Right.
So,
you think you'd pass a drug test today?
No.
Neither do I.
No, not at all.
Neither do I.
Was it the Christmas party or New Year's Eve where they?
It was no, it wasn't New Year's Eve. It was
after Thanksgiving.
It was Thanksgiving.
Around that time.
Yeah, where they're watching fireworks
on
on the balcony, and you can see he's very clearly.
It's like, cover for me, Mom. I'm doing a bump.
Yeah, I mean, he's geeked. You can tell. You can tell when you look at him. It takes one to know one. You can tell when someone's geeked.
Yeah, and it's amazing how, I can generally relate to Joe Biden, the president. If I ever had a chance to talk to the man, I would probably talk to him about brain cancer.
Yeah.
The same type of brain cancer that killed my mother, killed his son. So you can relate to people on a personal level. One thing I loathe at the end of the day about politics is it instrumentalize is everything. Even your most, like the moments where you're most vulnerable or the things that most affect you, most traumatize you in life. Everything can be used as either a defense or a weapon in politics.
Yeah.
Everything's fair game, and it's just disgusting at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, and you saw it. It really happened, and I don't blame Trump for this, but he really did become something that was acceptable in the Trump era of really just crossing lines of probity and being decent.
Right.
And now I think that I think that the Hunter Biden stuff needs to be talked about. But at the same time, I don't think that what Marjorie Taylor Greene did with holding up the pictures, I don't think that lends itself to a more helpful and productive dialogue.
Right. Well, and I don't think it's just Trump. I think it's an effect, again, of our technology changing.
Yeah.
That now, I mean, I have to watch it because everyday language on the internet is often dirty as hell.
Yeah.
like we're trying to play clips or we're trying to, have interesting conversations. I think it's just an effect of the sign of the time, so to speak. We'll be right back, folks.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A massive winter storm is sweeping across the northern U.S. with blinding snow in some places, freezing rain in others, and whipping winds and bitter cold temperatures across several states. At least one death was suspected from the latest round of dangerous weather. A man was believed killed after an avalanche in the Idaho backcountry. Prosecutors will seek the death penalty against a white supremacist gunman who killed 10 black people inside a supermarket in Buffalo, New York. That decision was announced today in a court filing. Peyton Gendron is already serving a life sentence with no chance of parole after he pleaded guilty to state charges of murder and domestic terrorism in the 2022 massacre. The Dow is down 136 points, but the NASDAQ is up 5. This is SRN News.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
To avoid digital threats, turn on NordVPN. It's trusted by millions of users. Just visit NordVPN.com. One of the fastest VPNs on Earth will block web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. It will also encrypt your internet traffic while maintaining a smooth connection. So improve your digital privacy and protection against hackers with one simple click. Get the special deal at NordVPN.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Based on current information, it appears that the severe weather threat has eased up quite a bit. Still, though, the main threat will continue to be strong winds gusting 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour, which could take down some trees and cause some power outages as well. Temperatures in the 60s today, colder tonight, low 32, and breezy. Saturday, the sun returns, but a chilly day, high 49. I think we'll be up to about 54 on Sunday with more sun. You've probably heard by now, we have a big Arctic air outbreak arriving on Tuesday of next week. Get ready for a temperature crash. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Alabama Department of Corrections arrested Elmore Correctional Facility officers Eli Doremus and Benayan Thomas on Tuesday. The arrest came shortly after an inmate's contraband cell phone revealed the officers were receiving Cash App payments from the inmate. A federal appeals court ruled Thursday that Alabama can immediately begin enforcing a ban on the use of puberty blockers and hormones to treat transgender people under the age of 19. The court granted the state's request to stay a preliminary injunction that had blocked enforcement of the 2022 law. Residents of Tuskegee woke up Thursday morning to little or no water pressure. The Utilities Board of Tuskegee has emergency crews making repairs, but it is unknown when the entire system will be restored. The Tuskegee Fire Department has been notified of the situation. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Hello, this is Eddie Bader with eXp Realty, and I want to tell you about advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting. I made the decision to advertise with Blue Water about 2 years ago and have seen the results daily. The Blue Water team has truly become family to me and always ready to help.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hey there, River Region area. Dawson Electric hopes you had an amazing Christmas and a fantastic New Year. As we step into 2024, it's time to tackle those resolutions and make sure your home or business is in tip-top shape. And for all your electrical needs, there's one name you can trust, Dawson Electric. Whether you're planning a remodel, constructing a new home, or require service for your existing electrical systems, Dawson Electric has got you covered. Need emergency generators installed? Looking to enhance your outdoor space with stunning landscape lighting? Dawson Electric is the answer. We do it all for homes and commercial spaces alike. For more information, you can find us on Facebook. Search for Dawson Electric Company, LLC. Hit the like button and stay connected with us. We're happy to speak with you at any time. Just call 334-270-8024. Say it with me. That's 334-270-8024. For all your electrical service needs for home or business, call us at Dawson Electric. Dawson Electric, lighting up your world.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. We call this little thing News and Views in the afternoon, but again, we are live streaming.
That's right, Joey.
Yeah, Joey Clark live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. You can also watch on the X platform at the Joey Clark, or just search on the Book of Faces for Joey.
Yeah.
And well, I want to get to one thing I mentioned a little earlier. Especially because you're here, Krieg. You may know some of these folks. Actually, I don't know if they're quite in the actual intellectual camp and waters I know you swim in. I think this, I'll just read this story here. This is from Axios. Davenport, Iowa is where they're reporting from. Donald Trump doesn't have the support of Iowa's most prominent evangelical leader in Monday's caucuses. I think Vanderplat has now gone with DeSantis. But in Iowa and across the country, MAGA pastors are among Trump's most loyal backers. Why it matters. It's not just that they like the former president for appointing 3 Supreme Court justices that would support overturning Roe v. Wade. Why did this just freeze up on me? I don't even know. Did the internet go out?
Yeah, it's freezing.
It's from the cold clutches of your sad, lonely hands.
But Trump's team of faith leaders includes Ben Carson, who's been stumping for Trump in Iowa. I'm not surprised by that.
No.
In a packed Grace Family Church in Davenport on Wednesday night, Carson, a Seventh-day Adventist, I don't even begin to know what that actually entails, sought to assure anyone in the crowd who had misgivings about Trump's salty rhetoric. Would you rather have somebody whose tongue is maybe a little wild but has incredibly good policies that make your life better, Carson thundered, or somebody who has a silver tongue but terrible policy? Well, I think Carson's got a good point there. But Carson thundered. I don't think I've ever heard Ben Carson.
No, he doesn't thunder.
He doesn't
Incapable
thunder.
of thundering.
Yeah, but MAGA pastors have defended Trump on TV, amassing large followings online, been key advocates for the former president in swing states, and in some cases influenced Trump's thinking. Trump has said one of his priorities if he's reelected would be to establish a task force to fight quote-unquote anti-Christian bias in American life, an idea pushed by some MAGA pastors. Prominent Trump backers also include Paula White Cain. Don't like this person?
No, she's vile, atrocious, and she could get hit by a bus and I would sleep like a baby.
Okay. See, but this is interesting. We'll get into this, but I'll keep naming some of these folks. South Carolina televangelist Mark Burns.
No clue.
Ohio pastor and radio host Daryl Scott.
Very little know about him.
And then preachers popular on social media, Sean Feucht.
Foucault?
Yeah, I get well, Foucault.
Yeah.
I don't know
that, fellas.
Yeah. Anyway, Sean, he's got 304,000 followers on the gram. Greg Locke with a little over 226,000 followers also touts Trump, as does North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Well, okay, how are you going to put Mark Robinson in the same camp as Trump, or as like all these other pastors? Like Mark Robinson seems like a pretty mainstream fella. Sorry, folks, the internet is being a little screwy up here. Excuse me, pardon me, trying to power through this.
Language.
Sorry, Karen.
But Trump has an easier time reaching evangelicals now than the past two cycles, in part because of changes in the evangelical world, writes Axios. And well, this is actually according to Tim Alberta, author of The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory. Craig is dying.
Yeah.
He once needed the name brand Christian conservatives to vouch for him, Alberta said, but thanks partly to the demand for content on social media, Trump benefits today from a decentralized cast of less established, more online influencers. Well, that's true of everything, not just Christian leaders. And anyway, it's a development that has helped to boost the influence of far-right pastors such as Jackson Lemire of Tulsa. He founded a group called Pastors for Trump, not FOR, the number 4. Lemire often takes Trump's most incendiary rhetoric, according to Axios, and adds religious fuel to the fire. He has cast Democrats as demons and promoted Christian nationalism. He held a national prayer call last spring to rally support for Trump. The former president called in to chat during that. So I bring this up because this article's fascinating to me. And I don't mean like what we just literally read. I mean, this is Axios, which it always has the regime talking points.
All right.
And they're good reporters. I'll put it this way, they're competent reporters. Like the write-ups are often terse, they're to the point, these sorts of things. But this was the main headline on Drudge. And I'm wondering, is this an op? And it could be fun to go through what are all the ops coming this year.
It's impossible to keep up with them, but the Christian nationalism one is obviously going to be a big one. And it's actually a criticism of people who have made an intellectual, decent biblical defense of an idea, calling it Christian nationalism, saying, hey, this is what Christian nationalism means. There's a rift in evangelicalism where they're saying, hey, don't use that term because that term is going to be, it already is co-opted by the left as an aspersion to cast against you. So you can have this ideology, just don't call it Christian nationalism because it's been poisoned. And then the Christian nationalists are saying, hey, I don't let the left decide what language I can use and what I can't. I have an idea and I'm capable of defending it. But yeah, Christian nationalism is going to be an op because everything is going to be called Christian nationalism except actual Christian nationalism, which, let me say, when you see, I saw a video a week or so ago of Joe Biden talking at a Black Baptist church. That is actual Christian nationalism, where you have the president of the United States talking behind a pulpit. Why is that okay? It's okay because this church probably has a political philosophy that's more in line with them.
Right.
That's super social justice warriory and super into all the DEI stuff. Right. But because that's okay, because this isn't a religious discussion. It's not a discussion about whose God is going to be in charge. Actually, it is. It's very much a discussion of whose God's going to be in charge. The left's God is okay. The right's God is big, bad, and mean, and he's a Christian nationalist because he wants this guy wants his ideas and his principles to be represented in law, and that's bad and mean, but it's perfectly okay when the left does it. It is an op.
Well, and this is an old divide in America, I'd imagine. Like, I guess you could go to folks who are more respectable in terms of their theology, like a Paul Tillich, but the liberal Protestant division has been big, and it seems to just be growing. But that's fascinating what you just said, that a president speaking behind a pulpit doesn't raise any eyebrows whatsoever. The fact that the church still remains, in particular, a huge political force within the Black community, that's no problem whatsoever. But if, folks start talking about the Christian roots and foundations and how that should be reflected in the type of government and society we have in this nation, well, then you're going in the wrong direction. Yep. Though you hinted at it, Craig, there are some crazies out there who carry around the mantle of Christian nationalism too.
Yeah.
Or carry around the mantle of Christianity.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have your nuts everywhere. But again, that's why the conversation should be around ideas, not titles. Because, I mean, what has Nazism become? Nazism has nothing to do with the National Socialist Workers' Parties of Germany. It has to do with anyone who's winning an argument against a liberal.
That's exactly right. But from that Biden speech, at that church, but also the one he did even before that, it seems like what they're setting up is the real big threat of Donald Trump coming back is white supremacy and Christian nationalism.
Mm-hmm. And those two terms pretty much are and will be even more synonymous by the end of this election cycle, because because they can't define their terms. It's Christian nationalism, it's white Christian nationalism, it's white nationalism, it's white supremacy. All of these terms are simply meant to create an emotional reaction amongst the audience without actually defining what it is you're talking about.
Well, and I think it also is, I would say there are folks out there, if you're going to take the term at face value, white supremacy, is just a racism, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Are there folks out there who think that way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the animating philosophy of, say, the movement around Trump? No.
But that's but what you just said is actually interesting. So white supremacy is the same thing as racism.
It's one form of racism.
It is a form of racism, but again, they are different at the same time. If you believe, hey, this particular race is supreme to another, and I think that we're better for X reasons, I don't have any animosity. I just think that we're better. If you're on the Seahawks and you're playing the Patriots and you think that you're a better team than the Patriots, are you a patriotist? Do you hate the Patriots?
Right.
I'm not making a justification for either, but it's necessary to define your terms and not just say them out loud and know that there's enough idiots in the audience that are going to make zoo noises and jeer whenever you do. That's not how intellectual discussion is supposed to be done.
Exactly right. And it reminds me of, ever since Cat Williams broke the internet at the end of last week, all sorts of old clips of him have been coming out. And I think I saw him say, I'm not homophobic. I'm not homophobic at all. I just love women. And there is a thing to say, hey, I have an affinity towards certain things. And it's why at the end of the day, my political beliefs surround freedom in all its forms, especially religious freedom, of course, but freedom for everyone. Because I think that's the only way you square that circle in politics. If instead it's like somebody's going to take over like this massive apparatus of the federal government, probably the largest government known to man, and maybe China's got us beat at this point. But in terms of like its money it spends, the powers it has, somebody will just take that over and then impose their will on everybody else, and everything will work out. Everybody will come to heel. And oh, by the way, the ideology you're trying to push on everybody, that won't be corrupted at all.
Yeah.
It's not like, say, Christianity or any other religion's ever been corrupted by becoming an official state doctrine.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
Never happened.
Never at all.
With the guy in the pointy hat over there in Rome.
You're right.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Catholics. I love
you. No, it's true. It's something that needs to be reflected
upon.
But
honestly, the closest that it ever came to being something perfect was honestly after the Cromwellian Revolution. It was tremendous. There was this king that they thought had disdained the church and had disdained his people, and they cut off his head. And there was a time where it was like, this could be something anarchy-like, possibly Parliament speaking for the people, appointed by the people. And within the lifetime of Oliver Cromwell himself, they offered him the crown.
Right.
And he's like, no, wait, hold on. We just cut off this guy's head. Like, hold on. We said, no, we don't need a king. We don't need a king. And they're like, no, we need a king. And then, of course, the kings whose head they just cut off, his son eventually became king. Because they just couldn't live with that level of freedom.
It is just fascinating, folks, to watch out for what the regime is saying they're going to go after, how they're going to characterize their opponents. And they're putting them in all sorts of little boxes. You have the insurrectionists in January 6th. You have the threat of white supremacy, Christian nationalism. And, of course, that means like Handmaid's Tale stuff that's about to happen. All the women. And all of them. None of you are going to escape. All the women.
It's just so funny. vicarious kink that people don't really understand, especially women, whenever they bring the Handmaid's Tale into public discourse, which is like, oh gosh, all of you men just want to impregnate my young, fertile body for your own horrible desires. It's like, no, we're good. No, we don't. No, thank you. No, oh, you want to put your seed within me? No,
Not really.
Stop,
No.
not at all.
Yeah,
stop
talking
bringing up that story.
Yeah, that's not true. Not true at all. Let's go to Biloxi Gambler. I think he wants to change the topic.
Oh, please.
No, I ain't changing the topic, man. It's old news now, but ESPN reported that, you know what? That dude that comes on, Scott Deason, I believe is his name. I don't know if it starts with a D or a B. Is
It's
it
a
D
B.
like in
B as in B.
B as in boy?
Yes.
Okay, Beeson. Okay. Scott Beeson is a very powerful dude because yesterday he was talking about Kalen DeBoer for Washington. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, he's good. He finished number 2 this year. But, yeah, ESPN's reporting Kalen DeBoer in Washington. He had a contract on his table he hadn't touched. It's been there for weeks. He canceled the morning radio show in Washington, and then there's a lot of activity at the Mount Moore building. And ESPN has reported that their sources are that they're finalized. Oh, Jimmy Sexton is also Kalen DeBoer's agent, who's also Nick Saban's agent.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
Mike Novell, you know, they don't want to hire another Mike. We discussed that yesterday. Mike DeBose, Mike Shula, Mike Price. And anyway, he got an 8-year, $10 million extension. And Sarkisian also got a big extension over in Texas.
Right.
So these agents, man, they use this stuff, you know, to get pay raises.
And play all the buyers against each other.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And but you know, and then of course the latest word was it'd be either Kiffin or somebody else, and then ESPN said no, checkmate. It's going to be Kalen DeBoer. So I do not know. ESPN reported it will be Kalen DeBoer. There'll probably be an announcement this afternoon.
Well, I appreciate you giving us the heads up, Biloxi Gambler.
Yeah, you know, I monitor a lot of stuff, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys. I listen to y'all. I'm listening to y'all right now.
I appreciate that.
But I jump. But anyway, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
See you, bud.
Well, and like here's an example in clip form of some of the hysterical things that are going to be said. Here is Whoopi Goldberg on The View talking about what Trump's going to do. You know, he's a dictator. He's a white supremacist. He's playing into Christian nationalism. It's going to be a big theocracy. By the way, we already live under a theocracy,
Right.
in technical terms, I would say. But here is The View, and in particular, Whoopi Goldberg's take on what's going to happen if Trump gets back in there.
She is an excellent journalist,
Come on,
but
if
she
you don't
dropped the ball
confront these
there.
people on their lies in the media, we will lose this.
She dropped the ball on that
I'm
interview.
sorry,
No,
Whoopi, I interrupted
that's
you.
okay.
That's all right. But I'm here to say it's ours to lose. It is this country. This is what it's all about. Either you want it to work forward thinking, you want everybody to have the ability to say how they feel, what they want to move forward, or you don't. Or you want somebody who says, I'm going to be on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. Who says it to you, tells you, I'm going to put you people away. I'm going to take all the journalists, I'm going to take all the gay folks, I'm going to move you all around and disappear you. If that's the country you want, you know who to vote for. If that's not the country you want, you have to make a decision.
Brought to you by John Travolta from Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, man. I'm sitting here literally on my phone going, she looks like a devil character in some movie.
No, I was about to say, I am not a Christian nationalist, but these folks look like literal demons on the View. They really do.
Yeah,
Like-
it's funny. It's like amazing. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy of the left that happens all the time. It's whether it's with Nazism, a Nazi, white supremacist, white separatist, white nationalist, Christian nationalist. It doesn't matter. They're like, oh, these insert group name don't want to let us cut the genitals off children, and they don't want us to take more of their stuff, and they don't want us to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, is that what white supremacists don't want? Because I don't want that. So I guess
Right.
okay, white supremacists right here. I'm right, white supremacists now. It happens. It's like you push and you advocate for these absolutely inane and horrible ideas, and you call anyone that's not for it, a Nazi, a white supremacist, a white nationalist, whatever.
Yep.
And then you're shocked whenever people claim the moniker and they're like, yep, this is me. This is me now. I don't want that. You're right.
No, and there are a lot of folks now too who are saying the name calling game ain't working anymore.
No, it's not.
on me. Like, it's not swaying folks. I think it came out in Gallup today that 43% of Americans call themselves independent now.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
And by the way, a little wrinkle before we hit this break. There's some polling that suggests RFK Jr. does very well if the general election is between RFK Jr., Joe Biden, and Donald Trump.
Is that right?
Really?
Yes, RFK Jr. is leading with voters 18 to, I believe, 40 something. Leading, if it's a three-way race between those folks. Now, of course, it's usually folks 55 and up who are doing all the voting, but it's a weird time.
Very weird.
And you never know where this might be going. We expect the unexpected in 2024, folks, and don't fall for the ops they're trying to put you in, as much as it is infuriating and frustrating. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by New Look Decorating Center, and they're at New Look Decorating Center. Brett Lanham, the manager, and that great team they put together at New Look Decorating are ready to help you out. Now, you were shocked, Eddie, because there was a house you recently ran into that had fabric in the bathroom?
Had fabric. It's actually in the master bedroom, and it's bigger than a studio, and it looks like canvas. It's not. I believe Katie
it's on the
educated
wall.
me. It's on the wall. Half the wall is sheetrock, and the upper half is like this canvas. Well, I'm not a man of style, so when I saw it, I instantly said, "What's this garbage?" Well, I got educated on it. It's actually pretty expensive fabric, kind of fashionable back 20 years ago. So when I talked to her about it, I was talking to maybe I'll just tear it down. I don't know what I'll do. She told me I could paint it.
Oh,
that
wow.
brought up a whole another set of options I didn't include, which is a lot less than taking it down, putting something else back up.
Or, and I'm sure they also had new fabric options
Oh,
that
they
would have
did. They
been
had
a
a
little
ton
more
of-
stylish and modern.
Oh yeah, but just for me personally, I didn't think I would like it. But when she started presenting with all these options to me, I was like, wow, okay, educated me a little bit. I appreciated that.
There you go. Every time Eddie stops by there, he's
It's an
educated.
education, man. It's an education.
And whether you're doing it yourself, it could be a job where you're repainting, say, the bedroom over the weekend, or it could be you need to contract it out where you're repainting an entire home. Yeah, hire somebody who's a pro. They
Please.
know all the contractors, all the pros.
They know
and
the good
painters
ones.
in town. They're at New Look Decorating Center. So call them up today. That's 271-0007, 271-0007, or go to newlookdecoratingcenter.com. But the best way is to stop by, see Brett, the manager, see Jordan, see Katie. You might even see Brian Carr, the owner, over there at 6237 Atlanta Highway, right here in Montgomery, where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway.
Yep.
You'll see it in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And, when you stop by, be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie from News and Views, those jokers on the radio, sent you more News and Views after this.
Joey Clark.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hunting season is here. It's time for you to get on over to Prattville Farm Center. Here's Randy to tell you all that he's got on the shelf for you to buy.
We got some good deals. We have seed mixes from WMS, Pennington, Kelly Seed. We have every kind of seed you could possibly want. So y'all come on down here and we'll get them green fields planted. By the way, if you need sprayer parts for your equipment, we got that too. Come on down. 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville, 365-5400, 365-5400.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. This hour of news and views
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Hi, everybody. Based on current information, it appears that the severe weather threat has eased up quite a bit. Still, though, the main threat will continue to be strong winds gusting 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour, which could take down some trees and cause some power outages as well. Temperatures in the 60s today, colder tonight, low 32, and breezy. Saturday, the sun returns, but a chilly day, high 49. I think we'll be up to about 54 on Sunday with more sun. You've probably heard by now, we have a big Arctic air outbreak arriving on Tuesday of next week. Get ready for a temperature crash. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Rev things up in 2024 with Kubota and Capital Tractor. From the #1 rated compact tractor to the #1 selling compact excavator and more, we're powering Alabama. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Honey?
Yeah?
Do you think it's safe using all these extension cords?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Actually, too many extension cords can be dangerous. Call Crosby Electric to add new outlets.
Sure is dark in our yard.
Good. We'll sleep better.
Maybe you will.
Crosby Electric does landscaping lighting for beauty and safety, as well as security lighting for peace of mind.
Oh, darn. The vacuum cleaner just tripped a breaker.
Honey, never vacuum while I'm making popcorn.
Tripping breakers can indicate a potential fire hazard. You really should have it checked out by Crosby Electric, serving the river region for almost 50 years.
Sweetheart, are you ever afraid that lightning could damage our electrical system?
Afraid? Oh, come on. No. Maybe we should call Crosby. You know, just give him a call.
Full house surge protection can protect you and your possessions. For an assessment and for all your electrical needs, call Crosby Electric 272-2085 or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
I'm with Miss Dot at the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, and Dot, we're ready to roll into a new year.
Happy New Year.
Tell me what's going on here at Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall.
The booths are being restocked. The hot cider is going. The rocking chairs are here, and there are great sales going on in some of the booths. Really and truly, there's some neat stuff around here. You need to come in and see it.
Shouldn't people plan to come, maybe spend some time and find all the treasures here at Eastbrook?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've got some that come in and spend their lunch hour, and they bring their lunch and eat as they shop around, and which is fine with me. But then some come and spend the whole day, and I just love that.
Do you have any events coming up soon?
Anniversary sale will be here in February. Don't know the exact date yet, but listen for the ad. Come shop that day because it'll be a great event.
All right, Dot, give us the hours of operation.
Monday through Friday, 10 until 6. Saturday, 9 until 6. Sunday is 12:30 to 4:30.
That's the Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall, 425 Coliseum Boulevard.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey. Eddie Bader in the house. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. We also have Craig Monger of 1819 News in the studio. How you doing, Craig?
Oh, I am just killing it.
You are killing it today. I think so. And, well, this was apparently posted. This next thing I'm going to play.
Yeah.
And it helps folks if you're watching this. Like, the sound works for radio. But if you want to watch, go to Joey Clark Live on YouTube and like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
But this was posted by Trump this morning, apparently, on Truth Social. And so it's just a picture from, the street level of the White House, right?
Yep.
So let's see what Donald John Trump posted on his Truth platform today.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings. round-the-clock professional
it's a
care,
good one.
and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
Yeah,
That's way too
I
accurate.
can't believe that he posted. That's great.
That's
That is
hilarious.
great.
There's the days of any sort of polite political discourse, I think, is just done.
Now it's just new extremes of
There's no more.
of just nastiness.
The John McCain, Obama days, they're done.
Though, in all seriousness, do you think we're going to just more polarization, more nastiness, or is there some hope for the next generation, like your younger Gen Xers, your millennials, even your Gen Z, that with the changing technology, eventually we'll settle at some equilibrium? We're still not going to like each other probably, but there's going to be at least, I think, more formats that are long form. That are where real conversations are being had. It's a weird time like that where you have 30-second videos everybody's laughing about and sharing, and then you have 3-hour in-depth conversations that are also getting millions of views.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll happen in certain sects, but your average Joe who doesn't have like a Lex Friedman type platform to have those interesting conversations, they're always going to be the Anon account on Twitter, operating dishonestly. And then of course everyone, so many people are perfectly capable of having an argument about nothing on Twitter that goes nowhere, accomplishes nothing, and these are the same people that don't know who their neighbors are.
Right.
It's so there. I think the pendulum will swing to some extent or another. I think there's just going to be less and less interest in social media as as time goes on, without any sort of reform, because honestly, if I wasn't in the job that I have, I wouldn't be on social media. Maybe Facebook, so distant family can keep up with my goings-ons, but that's about it.
I'm the same way, now that I think of it. I wouldn't be messing with any of this crap.
Yeah. I mean, and the people that do, there's going to be continuously more and more people that become disenchanted with social media, and especially, and I think that's a good thing. I think you should spend less time on social media worrying about people that don't know who you are, what they think about you.
Well, and I know we're late to the game messing with this stream here, and it really is, it's slow, but it's growing. And one thing I'm very concerned about, it's just, if it happens someday, it'll happen, is, we're right now streaming to YouTube. They could just, if we get, say we get a few thousand subscribers, which took a few months to get, and all of a sudden, no, you're just nuked.
Oh, yeah.
Because you talked about January 6th or the vaccine in the wrong way.
Yep.
Or whatever the latest new thing is.
Yeah.
And and something you said recently, it's a thing you said 6 months ago on a video that we found.
And I'm waiting for that to happen.
It's that sort of suppression that's just, thank God for Elon Musk. Now, I was suspended for 12 hours on the X platform this week.
What'd you do?
I was responding to Jimmy Kimmel. He did a monologue on Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I said something to the effect of, it's a shame Johnny Carson can't come back alive from the grave to strangle this creepy little bastard and nadir of the late night talk medium. And apparently me wanting a famous dead man, to come back to life to strangle Jimmy Kimmel was violent language.
You can't say anything about Jimmy Kimmel. That's one of the sacred cows.
I forgot about that.
Right. Gosh, remember when late night TV used to be funny?
Gosh, it was such a good time. Well, and that's the thing. I'll still pull up old Carson because of YouTube.
Yeah.
You can find old Carson, and it's great.
Old Carson I pull up old Craig Ferguson.
I saw
Craig Ferguson's great.
Yeah.
Even some old Leno stuff was fun.
Yeah.
Some
of Conan.
Some of Conan.
I liked old Conan.
He did it a long
year
time.
2000.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? I cannot remember.
Letterman.
Letterman. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who.
He was my generation.
Yeah, he was terrific.
Yeah. And it was funny because with Letterman, I remember when he came about, he was literally nobody.
Yeah.
And they threw him out there. And I remember we were watching as a kid with my dad, and my dad was like, "This guy's going nowhere. He'll be gone in a week. What a loser."
No, but
he was no Johnny Carson.
But see, Johnny Carson and Letterman were the same kind of, same type of person, where it's like they didn't feel the need to be the smart guy or the aware guy or the socially vigorous defender of all that is good and holy. They just were there to talk to people.
But what was funny, especially with my dad's generation, Johnny Carson, suit, tie, all
Sure,
out
yeah.
there. Letterman looked like Alfred E. Newman.
Right.
And my dad's like, "Who's this loser? He's never going to make it." Like, all right.
See, but Carson would have some really subversive stuff he would do. where like I think the example that's coming to mind is think of a ventriloquist act is about to come out. And so Johnny Carson will be like, this next guy, Eddie Bader, he's got a puppet act. He's going to have a puppet on his hand and pretend like it talks. Go ahead, Eddie. Oh. And so he would kind of undercut people, make fun of them in these really clever ways. And that sort of subtlety ain't around as much anymore by any means.
Well, and he didn't do it to hurt anybody. No one ever got crushed with that.
Oh, the old Carson clips sitting down with Reagan.
Yes.
Were fantastic.
And sitting there smoking, laughing, having a good time.
Well, and even in the modern era, you remember when Jimmy Fallon tried to have just a fun, all Fallon does is fun stuff.
They wouldn't let him do it.
And he tried to have a fun interview with Trump. And the sky fell on his head for doing that.
Can't do it, man.
And it's just a shame.
Can't do it.
It really is a shame. And I'm sorry. Like, this reaction to Trump, like, I didn't, again, vote for Trump in 2016, but this reaction to Trump is overblown.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
And did you see also when they get back in there after 2020, what's the first few things the Democrats recommend? Adding states to the union, including the District of Columbia.
Sure.
Which means, you'll be able to take over the Senate.
If that's the case, then we bomb that state.
Hey.
We just be done with it.
Okay.
Be done with it.
Man, the rebel coming out.
Well,
you got to watch yourself.
You're going to get it visited by some very sharply dressed men in glasses.
I know.
White supremacist Christian nationalist Eddie Bader makes threats on the
I know Glenn and Mike really well. They're great guys. We see them at least once every 3 or 4 weeks. Go out for some dinner. Great folks.
Yeah, but they try to do major structural things. They say, we're going to expand the Supreme Court. We're going to add states to the union. We're going to centralize the regulation of voting in this country in Washington. They were going for things that were massive power grabs.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, Trump wins an election and his national security advisor says, hey, the National Security Council's too big. Maybe we should downsize it and reorganize how many intelligence agencies we have. Seems like a reasonable thing. I think there are actually folks within the establishment who go, he probably got a point. We are a little too bureaucratic, too much groupthink going on here. But you even just suggest a hint of that.
Yeah.
And, oh, my God, it's over. The Republic's done because the orange man who used the Ruskies to get in there. It's just, and the thing that is amazing to me, I shouldn't be amazed, but I continue to be amazed. I'm not surprised when it's very sophisticated political players who go after Trump. Like, I'm not surprised the intelligence agencies went after Trump. John Brennan, James Clapper, take your pick of all these sort of establishment types who have been there a while. I'm not surprised when even Republicans like Mitt Romney went after Trump. I'm not surprised by folks who are kind of in the know. What I'm amazed by is how many people, everyday people, are convinced and become susceptible to the propaganda of those operators and manipulators within the intelligence services.
Yeah.
So it's very clear to me a James Clapper type or a John Brennan type or those 50-plus intelligence, former and acting officials, when they said the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, or all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. These people are sneaky bastards with their language. They gave themselves an out. It's all the hallmarks. We didn't say it was. We just said it kind of suggested all the hallmarks of it. I am amazed. Those folks are defending their turf. I'm amazed that people believe them for all the other reasons they give. That Trump's this bad thing or that bad thing or this bad thing. And sometimes it's just straight up contradictory to where it's like Trump's going to start World War III.
Right.
And then he's like the first president to visit the DMZ. And now he's too friendly with dictators. Like, well, which is it, guys? Yeah. Which way are we going here?
Well, it's dishonesty.
Right.
It's blatant dishonesty, but it's dishonesty that relies on the stupidity of its recipients. It's dishonesty that relies on ignorance.
Well, and if there's
otherwise, because for Joey, for you, it's transparently idiotic what they're saying.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of people that believe it. Why? Because they are susceptible to being told the same thing over and over again and internalizing it and that being truth, which is why when you try to have a conversation with these people, they get crazed. You're like, well, so why is Donald Trump X, Y, and Z? Well, because he's, and they'll just start spewing.
And then there's a built-in defense mechanism. And this is why partisan politics is they still really try to push like Republican versus Democrat. Number one, it's been a built-in defense mechanism now for a few generations, Republican versus Democrat. But as soon as somebody who says a Democrat realizes Actually, no, let's use folks that more listen to this show. We have a few Democrats, but say it's somebody who's always voted Republican, and they start to think, I think all these Republican politicians are full of crap and have been exploiting me and taking advantage of me. And then all of a sudden the built-in defense mechanism kicks in. They're like, yeah, but the Democrats lie a lot too.
Yeah.
And that's, you try to convince a Democrat, well, Donald Trump lies and does propaganda. I am happy to admit that they all lie.
Mm-hmm.
Especially during election years, that they're all full of crap to a degree. They're all pushing propaganda. You try to win an election at the national level these days.
Yeah, but we're the idiots that don't hold them accountable. It's one thing, I know you're
They
lying.
play us against each other.
Right, right. But you know they're lying. You caught them in a lie, and you vote for them again? Well, who's the idiot?
Yeah.
Yep. And that's what's so frustrating when you watch the congressional goings-ons of whatever, some committee meeting, even the Hunter Biden stuff that I watched the other day. You see these people talking Democrat and Republican, and you're like, man, you guys are truly unaware of how much contempt everyone has for you. Like, you don't realize that how much without this security apparatus that is granted to you by the taxpayers, how much danger you would be in. Because you are people who have systemically lied and attempted to manipulate the populace, all the while screwing them royally.
Yep.
And they hate you.
Yes.
They hate you. They could literally feel joy seeing you dragged outside and hung from a tree. These people hate you. The people that and yet somehow they continuously keep getting elected because people just buy into this dichotomy. Well, I mean, I know that this person who I kind of hate is out there, but he's a Republican, and we know how bad the Democrats are. It's like, just stop that. Stop that. Don't vote for liars. Don't vote for thieves. Don't vote for immoral scumbags. Just start there, which is once again why I am campaigning Stone Cold Steve Austin. But
real quick here, I'm not going to use his name, but a candidate we know, said, quote, I was told you can't use logic in politics. Sad state we're in.
Oh,
that's absolutely right, sir.
I agree 100% with it. But
But
it
it's true.
shouldn't be the case. It should not be the case.
When's the last time you saw someone like a politician on a news program or even in Congress or in a committee? When have you seen them say something and you're just like, boom, that was a perfectly crafted, logical. That's why Vivek is so successful.
Right. I was gonna say,
Because
besides Vivek and
he'll
occasional
take
Rand
the
Paul, that's it.
abuse. Yeah, he'll take the abuse and it'll be like, okay, I'm going to logically respond to your illogical accusations, and it works. And you don't even have to try that hard because it's all kabuki theater.
It is.
Right.
It
well,
is.
and he also doesn't back down when he says he asks them a question and they try to wiggle out of it saying, I'm not the one you should be asking. Right. He will not let them get off the hook. And I think it's beautiful. And, Trump's more the bull in the china shop, so to speak. I'm actually the genie in the box.
Put me back in the box.
But he definitely is more the bull in the china shop. Like, Trump just does Trump and, stuff happens. Whereas I think Vivek is more that assassin. He's like the night fox. Like, he'll get in there. He knew exactly what he was doing getting the Steve King endorsement.
But he doesn't show the emotion that Trump does. He doesn't. He's very firm. He doesn't get overly excited. Where Trump starts foaming at the mouth, oh boy, he's fixing to get into
Well, but
this.
think about that first debate. Vivek came out of the gate
Oh, I
pretty
love that.
over the top, a lot of energy, and
Short
a
man
lot of
syndrome
people
came out, buddy.
A lot of people knocked him for it, though.
I didn't. I liked it. I'd like to see a short man get a few licks in every once in a while.
But you're not short.
I know. I feel bad for the short guy.
Are you looking at me?
I'm looking through you.
Remember that segment I did on fat men yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I
wait,
do, Joey.
did you talk about fat people yesterday?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, I had to take the day off, had some work to do, but I still want to tune into the show. It's a great show. And all of a sudden I'm hearing about the rotundness and the fatness. And I'm like, who's he talking to? I'm not there. And then I realized he's talking about me, and I'm not even
No,
there.
I wasn't talking about you. Look at you being overly sensitive.
Maybe that's it, but I think
all I was doing is I started the show off by saying that some men are massive. And I don't mean in terms of their accomplishments. Some men are so massive, their girth, these fat asses.
See?
Or to put it nicely, portly, or butter mountains if you're not trying to be nice.
Who else did you refer
yet,
to as that besides me?
No, but let me finish.
Who?
But despite being so massive in their girth and their weight, they've lost so much. They're so massive they could lose the same amount of weight as a full-grown Labrador Retriever and nobody would notice. They'd still look fat.
Let me ask you this.
But despite, let me finish. Excuse me. Excuse me. But despite their massive weight and girth, inside, they're very, very small. And then some men are so diminutive, so small, that you could have a biopic and the person playing them, cast to play them, could be Peter Dinklage. They could be diminutive, little elf-like men. Yeah. And yet they're larger than life. They're giants. And I never thought a massive man like Chris Christie could be eclipsed by a tiny man like Nick Saban. But it was pulled off today. That's all I was talking about. I wasn't talking about your girth.
Whatever. Chris Christie, though, is at the level of fat where you have zero respect for him because of it. Like, there are those types of people where it's like, listen, we all know those guys that they're fat, but it's like the kind of fat that could pull an engine block out of a Ford F-250.
Exactly.
And you're just kind of like, you do you, homie, with hands with that were made in Kaneka, I think. And just those kind of fat guys. And then you have the fat guys where you're just like, you look like you're made out of estrogen. You look like there's nothing manly about you.
Exactly right. Out there.
So and Chris Christie's the latter. There's the feminine fat, and then there's masculine fat. Like who's the guy in Braveheart, the red-haired guy? He's a nice big fat guy, but he's throwing these big rocks.
Yeah, he's brawny.
Brolic fella.
Yeah, but then you got to admit too, there's some fellas just got big hips.
That's true, and they make great linemen.
Right. Well, I remember I've told this story before. We were at Catholic. It was practice, and there's a guy that his nickname was Moose. And he's playing middle backer on the defense, and we're scrub offense running up against him. And after he read, oh, it's an A gap. He stuffed it and stuffed the run. It was a brilliant play for a linebacker. And one of our coaches goes, Moose, you know why you're a good backer? What? You know why you're a good linebacker, Moose? Why? You got that ass. You get in there and you hit that back. You just plug up that line. No.
It's so
Coaches
bad.
Can't say that no more, Joey.
No.
What? It's funny.
Hey, Coach Sandusky, calm down.
He's got big hips.
No, it's really embarrassing for me because growing up in China, obviously I played no American football, and so when I'm hanging out in just this state, everyone relates with football, and of course I look like a safety or a linebacker.
Right.
Like, everyone just thinks I play football. Hey, what'd you play? I'm like, I played soccer and I got murdered.
Right.
I got mollywopped because I was this giant fat kid with these tiny Bruce Lee ninjas just sprinting around me like I wasn't
Did they stick you
there.
in the goalie? When I lived in
Very
Turkey and I
often,
played with the
very
Turks,
often.
they just said, hey, Whitey, go play the goal.
Very often.
Yeah, we're having way too much fun, running out of time. So this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and they're at Alabama Home Mortgage.
Just got a text from her.
Yeah?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay. But at Alabama Home Mortgage, is it everything all right? You're just
perfect.
laughing?
It's awesome.
All right. But you've worked with them many a time.
Lots of times, Joey. Lots of times. And every time has been a successful from opening to closing, man. Every time we've had we get a lot of first-time home buyers, they really don't know. They just know they want to buy a house. So they'll call somebody like me. I give them a little bit of education. They go, okay, I'll ask them, how are we going to pay for this house? What do you mean pay for it? So then, of course, I introduce them to Madeline. And Madeline takes them, holds their hand, gives them the whole lesson on how to buy a house today. Whether you want to go with no money down, whether you want to do a VA, a conventional loan, they do them all. So
wow.
Let me tell you, she is, and I'll give credit to the whole organization, but Madeline is the girl that I call on a regular basis. If I ever need anything, even those crazy VA questions, I call them up. They always have answers for me. So, Alabama Home Mortgage.
Eddie's a fan of women who have the same name as Cookies.
I do. I like that too.
567-4223. Again, I wasn't talking about you yesterday.
Whatever.
Talking about Chris Christie. 567-4223. You can also always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. Hopefully, after this very quick break, we'll have Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances on the other side.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
We've all fallen into boring routines. We just keep doing what has to get done. Isn't it time to escape the old routine and make time for yourself? Make time to go out with old friends. Make time to add excitement back into your life. Make time to feel like a winner again. Life is more fun when you live it. So what are you waiting for? Escape every day at Wind Creek Casino and on the Casinoverse app.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back, folks. And before we go to the phones, I just want to react to this one comment. Matthew Pate on the X platform says, breaking news, next head coach of Alabama is Trump. It'll be the greatest team in the history of teams. You know, I didn't know I could be a football coach, and they asked me, and I'm like, I think I can do it.
I would really consider switching sides.
You would?
I really would. I'd have to think about it.
The Crimson Trumps are coming.
You know, when the Crimson Tide's in town, you better get some ice cream. I mean, that's a different thing. Let's go to
gold helmets everywhere.
Let's go to Michael Cohen, Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. How you doing today, Michael?
I'm doing great. You know, Trump would put a lot of butts into seats.
Yes, he would.
And he would fire them fast.
That's true, too.
That would be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yes, it would.
So, if I wanted to get a bigger TV, you know, I bought an 85-inch TV from Cohen's, and
now you're looking for bigger.
No, but I'm not saying just entertain my curiosity. If I wanted something bigger, you got something even bigger than 85 inches?
98.
98. Ooh. Holy cow.
Really? Both like Sony and Samsung options?
Yes, sir.
And then how big does the short throw projectors, how big do those things get?
They make them with their screens that I want to say go up to about 120 inches.
Man,
that's incredible.
Well,
yeah, so you know, and it is a laser projector. So the good news is that you won't be replacing a bulb every 2,000 or 3,000 hours. Theoretically, their bulbs never need to be replaced.
Cool.
So I mean, you know, there's lots of alternatives, and each one has its special place, you know, depending on your home.
So if folks want to kind of start to understand how big it can get, but also like, okay, what is the best option for them personally? Would you suggest they stop by, talk to someone?
Yeah, because I mean, unfortunately, we have had to tell some people that what they're asking for is too big for whatever their area they're trying to fulfill with TVs, and you know that's not typically what a salesman does.
No,
but you know we want you to have the right size, and if you're trying to put a 100-inch TV or a 98-inch TV in a 10 by 12 room, and you're sitting 4 feet from it, that's probably not the greatest idea. Although you'll impress all your friends,
right?
But maybe get new friends. But the whole thing is that you know we want you to have something that you're going to be happy with and enjoy watching. It's not going to be a job or cumbersome to operate, and you know there's a lot that goes into making sure that the customer gets something that he can operate.
Well, folks, you can always, you know, check out what they have at Cohen's at thinkcohens.com, but I really encourage you to stop by 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 today, and 9 to 4 on Saturdays?
That's correct.
And then they're off Sundays?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, and then we'll be back Monday, just like normal. I'm sure you'll probably be off because you work for the government.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, are you working tomorrow? Are you working Monday?
I'm working Monday.
How dare you?
I'm working.
Are you? Are you working at the
station? Walked right into that one. Well, I hope you have
make sure you're not hooking down there by the gas station.
$20 is $20, man.
I was about to say I ain't pretty enough, but you go look at those broads and you're like, oh no. Well, I hope you have a good weekend, Michael. Really do. Appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I hope y'all do too, and stay warm.
We'll try.
All right. Take care.
You too, Michael.
Again, that's Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. You'll check out Cohen's today. And be sure to tell him you heard Michael here on the radio. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. U.S. wholesale inflation fell for a third straight month during the month of December. It's further evidence that price pressures in the economy are easing. The government's Producer Price Index, which tracks inflation before it reaches consumers, declined 0.1% from November to December. The cost of fresh eggs plunged nearly 21%. In sports, a successor has been named quickly. The New England Patriots have named Jared Mayo to success Bill Belichick as the franchise's 15th head coach. He becomes the first black head coach in team history. Mayo played 8 NFL seasons and won a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots during the 2014 season. The Dow is down 100 points, but the NASDAQ is ahead 6 points. This is SRN News.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
The Johnny Adams Law Firm. They want you to stay safe on the road. Please don't text and drive. Get to your destination safely. Your family and friends will thank you. From the Johnny Adams Law Firm.
Hi, everybody. Based on current information, it appears that the severe weather threat has eased up quite a bit. Still, though, the main threat will continue to be strong winds gusting 40, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour, which could take down some trees and cause some power outages as well. Temperatures in the 60s today, colder tonight, low 32, and breezy. Saturday, the sun returns, but a chilly day, high 49. I think we'll be up to about 54 on Sunday with more sun. You've probably heard by now, we have a big Arctic air outbreak arriving on Tuesday of next week. Get ready for a temperature crash. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth believes that the upcoming 2024 legislative session here in Alabama is going to bring about some political fireworks. Ainsworth says that a school choice bill and a bill that takes on woke policies is going to happen this time around, and as a result, opposition will try to dilute the bills or block them. Ainsworth told 1819 News that this year's legislative session would start off differently than last year's. In 2023, 2 Democrats within the state Senate, Bobby Singleton and Roger Smitherman, controlled 3/4 of the floor time within that body. Ainsworth says the first few weeks of this session are going to be very different, and he said, pay attention. Republicans are getting ready to run over some Democrats, and he says it's about time. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
This Friday morning, a Huntsville man was formally sentenced to death for the shooting death of Huntsville police officer Billy Clardy. Law Geronimi Brown was convicted of murdering Clardy in a drug sting operation that went wrong back in December of 2019. Just a few months ago, the jury voted 10-2 to sentence Brown to death. Brown's attorney sought to have that conviction removed, arguing that the jury was not unanimous, so Brown should get life in prison instead. Madison County Judge Chris Comer rejected that argument and made the sentence official today. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You asked, we listened. Rocky Bottom Materials is now offering full-service landscaping and irrigation installation. Do you need landscape renovations or new landscaping for your property? Tired of dragging water hoses all summer to water your lawn? We can help. Let us create your dream landscape and install an automatic sprinkler system. We can solve any drainage issue in your yard. No more dealing with the mud all winter. Call us at 334-215-3704. Schedule an appointment with our professionals. Rocky Bottom, where beauty and functionality are just a call away.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. News and Views in the afternoon. DeSantis now out saying that when it comes to the strike on the Houthis, Biden should have taken action earlier.
You think?
Oh, no, that doesn't.
There's no pleasing. Well, I mean, you're running for election. Whatever the other guy does is wrong. You either did it too soon or you did it too late.
Well, here's where I'm at, and this is where I break with some of my libertarian friends. I think there's an aspect to life and governance that is non-rational, and yes, sometimes violence starts singing its own song. But ideally, when a fight starts, you frickin' finish it. And instead, I think what we seem to be doing as a nation, like every other problem under the sun here in the United States, we just manage the problem. We don't actually solve anything, though.
And we don't really manage it. We just make it worse. Like in the case of Yemen, it's like, well, for the past decade, maybe a little bit more, we've helped the Saudis literally starve Houthi children, and we created cholera outbreaks, and we've had embargoes. So we haven't really done anything. We've sat by while giving aid to the Saudis and giving weapons to the Saudis so that they can commit what they've been doing against the Houthis, and then all of a sudden they get really pissed off at us, and now we're going to go in and start dropping some bombs. It's like, well, why didn't you try to negotiate something? That was Trump's thing. Even when he was talking about the Civil War, he was bashing Nikki Haley for what she said about the Civil War. He's like, I think that's something that could have been negotiated. I could have negotiated it. And people blasted him for that. It's like, listen, we were the only country in the Western world to fight a war over slavery. It very well could have been negotiated. All these things, we play in the background until it gets really bad, and then we're like, well, we have to act now because they're acting all crazy over there in Yemen. It's like, no, we created that. Why didn't we try to negotiate something? And it's always very frustrating because that's our thing, is we assist in the background until it gets too bad to be managed, and then we step in because, God, now we have to.
Yeah, we got to.
Messed it up so bad, we got to do something.
And to me, that doesn't come across as deterrence. It comes across as purposely inflaming a situation so we can hop in, and the nation doesn't benefit, but certain players benefit.
Yeah, and so think of what we did in Ukraine. Well, I mean, it's like, oh man, look at this Ukraine situation. We got to help. We're the reason. We're part of the big reason why Ukraine is such a mess right now, because turns out we overthrew a democratically elected government. Imagine that. Same with Iran. It's like, why does Iran hate us? I don't know. Maybe because we've been screwing with them for the past half century. I don't know.
Yeah,
just the fault.
Exactly. Maybe. Why would the Chinese have bad blood with us? I mean, why would the Russians, be paranoid? Why are they being paranoid about NATO? It's a defensive alliance.
Yeah, it's a defensive alliance. We've never used NATO to capricious means. No, never.
What about that whole
word
thing about Yugoslavia in the 90s? Yeah.
Or Bosnia, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's it's amazing to see how we continue to do foreign policy by media freak out. Whereas, again, the folks in power know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Think of 9/11. Remember when what was it? 8 Saudis flew planes to our buildings. They were like, you know who needs to pay? Iraq.
Yep.
Iraq's got to go. And Afghanistan a little bit later. But what about the Saudis?
Wasn't their fault. They were duped.
Yeah, we got to keep the Suez Canal open, guys. Here with the Egyptians, that's why we have the dictator in Egypt.
Yep.
We got to keep these pathways, these trade routes going here, and it's just such a mess. So this is what I worry about the Republicans, especially even Republicans from this state. I saw, I think, what was it, Senator Britt? There's a quote about her in 1819. She says, "Strike on Iran-backed rebel group in Yemen, quote unquote, long overdue to reestablish deterrence in the Red Sea."
And they're rebels, again, they're rebels according to who? It's a civil war in a government that has been unstable for the past, I think 60 years. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but it's been at least 60 years. That has seen several changes of power. There's a level of socio-political conflict that nobody in the United States can understand. And now all of a sudden you have a starving, cholera-infested populace. And you're like, you know what we need to do? We need to bomb them. Because they just haven't learned their lesson.
Right.
By the way, why are they getting loud all of a sudden? Because of what's happening in Israel. And why is what's happening in Israel happening? Because we have no strength. We have no foreign policy that makes rational sense.
And when you ask somebody like a Lindsey Graham about his foreign policy,
it's not just about sex,
but a part of it is, right?
I've heard that there's a terrorist plot being formed in Thailand, and so I'm going to go check it out. Got to go find out what's going on with those sneaky Thais.
Yeah.
I gotta love Lindsey. But did y'all see that? And I think Breitbart was reporting on this. The headline is U.S. Army baffled by sharp decline in white recruits.
I don't know why they're so baffled.
Why would they be baffled? Why would they be shocked at all by something like this?
It's their policies.
Yeah, because I'd imagine, like, when you're being told that you're been the reason for all this oppression that has been plaguing the nation and, the marginalized in this world, why would you want to join an institution that's telling you that constantly?
Do you want to sign up to possibly get shot in a godforsaken desert for a war that you don't understand? But before you do that, you'll sit down in the classroom and be told about how your Caucasian skin makes you the scourge of all the earth. And by the way, you'll be told this by a man in a dress. Won't you sign up? One, come all, line up, sign on the dotted line to serve your country at the behest of a dude with pink hair in a dress. Won't you come on down?
Yeah. Well, and so here's a story from Breitbart. The Army's recruiting of white soldiers in 2023 had dropped almost by half in the last 5 years. Has dropped by half in the last 5 years. The dramatic decline has coincided with a push by the service to increase recruitment of a more diverse population. The decline of white recruits has also coincided with the Army missing its target of 65,000 recruits in 2023. They were off by 10,000. They only got 55,000. Military.com reported Wednesday that Army internal data showed that a total of 44,042 new Army recruits were categorized by the service as white in 2018, but that number has fallen consistently each year to a low, or 25,070 in 2023. The outlet reported a 6% dip from 2022 to 2023 was the most significant drop. No other demographic group has seen such a precipitous decline, it added. There has been largely flat recruitment of Black and Hispanic recruits, according to the report. However, due to the decline of white recruits during that time, 56% to 44%, the percentage of those demographic groups went up by 4% and 7%, respectively. So it's not that they're recruiting more Black folks and Hispanic folks. So they're just recruiting less white folks, and they're now calling this, well, it's great because we're more diverse.
They're also thinner.
Well, and I think the fundamental mistake here is looking through that frickin' lens of race in particular. It's just like, what does this have to do with anything? The military's the one institution where you can break down these damn barriers because you give people a common mission that transcends their unchosen identity.
Is one color of skin bulletproof and another not? Like, I'm unaware of this distinction.
But at least some Army officials appeared to blame Republicans and conservative media for calling out wokeness in the military, as well as obesity in the public education system.
They got a pretty good fat boy program. That hadn't changed. If
You mean there are a lot of fat guys in the Army?
No, when you reach a certain weight, they come get you and say, "Hey, this is what you're going to do every day for the next few days."
Ozempic?
No, just a little bit more PT.
Oh, more PT.
I had to cut it when I joined the Navy. I had to cut a crazy amount of weight.
Did you?
Like I got pretty skinny. I'll show you a picture. It doesn't make any sense, the requirements that they had.
Was it a height weight? type
Yeah, it was a
situation?
height weight
Yeah.
thing, but no, I was right on the line with height and weight with the neck measurements and everything. So I was, I think, 18 or 19 pounds over.
Are you kidding me?
3 days out from when I left. So I took some old cues from some wrestling buddies and cut a bunch of water and everything. It was funny because they weighed me once when I left in Montgomery, and then they weighed me again when I got to Great Lakes in Chicago, and I was 15 pounds heavier. And they were so
15
confused.
pounds heavy?
Well, because I was dehydrated when I weighed in here, and that was the last weigh-in.
Oh, so you're good
they
after
said.
that, yeah.
I was good
I
after
made
that.
weight,
At least that's
baby.
what they said. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
But then I made it over there, and I was just drinking water and
Yep.
eating food. I hadn't eaten in so long. And they get there, and at that point they taped me, and my tape was just on the right one, so my waist and neck measurements. And so I made it through.
You should've
Of course,
told
they
them.
kicked me out a week later, but you know
I
what
was
are you gonna
good.
do?
I was good back there. No trade backs, baby. I'm good.
That's what I said.
I
They looked at me.
made weight back there.
Yeah, they looked at me. I was kind of like, I don't know what to say. Anyway, I'm sorry, Joe.
Real quick, I want to repeat this sentence. At least some Army officials appear to blame Republicans and conservative media for calling out wokeness in the military as well as obesity in the public education system. Well, if you're telling the people you're trying to recruit, y'all are too bigoted, fat, and stupid to serve in the Army, yeah, no wonder you're having a recruiting problem.
No brainer.
And again, I've said this, and I'll say this until I'm blue in the face. What you are doing when you are recruiting people into the armed services is you are recruiting people who are desirous to take the lives of individuals for a living. To go somewhere, and I know there's plenty of other administrative jobs and whatever, but fundamentally that is the goal of a military
Kill
person.
people and break stuff. Yeah.
Kill people, break stuff for money. That's it. The type of people that do that aren't the type of people that feel super good about being told to do so by, like I said, a dude in a dress. So yeah, it is the wokeness, because these brolic, strong men who are willing to die and kill, they're not soft. They're not wimpy, and you have made a soft and wimpy military apparatus because of your garbage ideology at the height of command.
Well, and then this is an amazing quote I'm about to share. It's from one anonymous Army official. It's a quote to military.com. Quote, "There's a level of prestige in parts of conservative America with service that has degraded. Now you can say you don't want to join for whatever reason or badmouth the service without any cultural guilt associated for the first time in those areas." However, the report by military.com went on to say the drop in white recruitment has quote unquote baffled Army staffers and is easily explained by one particular factor. Well, and the long-term trend is we are getting dumber. And you could base that off, say, the entrance IQ test into the armed services. It used to be the amount of people scoring highly on that thing, say, when you're doing the draft for World War I. Well, it's worse when you're doing the draft in World War II. The IQ's getting lower. And Vietnam era, it's even lower. And then today, like, there are some people just literally too dumb. Like, it's not a matter of the education system, or maybe it is. I'd like to think IQ is a bit malleable. It isn't as set in stone as some people put it out there. But come on. There are some there's long-term rot and corruption in the system. And, you know, one thing the Army staff might want to consider is when you have thousands of veterans coming back from serving, and they're now looking at each other going, what the hell were we fighting for over there? Defending poppy fields? To fight the next, year of the Afghan war, 1 year, 20 years over? We're not actually going to win anything? I think there's a lot of factors here of the wokeness. Yeah. People are getting dumber, people are getting fatter, less physically fit. But I think there are a lot of very smart, capable people that would serve who look at the people making the decisions of where the military goes and what they do, and they go, I don't want to serve y'all.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that, like you said, it's only gotten, I guess you'd say IQ has gone down from World War I, but there's a lot of people that just don't want part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to serve in the military. You guys send us out for too much BS too often. I'd rather just go to school, get me a BS job, work 9 to 5, and not have to worry about you guys sending me over to the sandbox.
Yeah, you'll hear that story from so many soldiers.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I remember I was listening to a podcast. It was the Sean Ryan podcast. He was
Love
a former
him.
Navy
Yeah.
SEAL
Love him.
operator, and he was talking to another operator, and he told the story about how he came into someone's room and he reached for an AK while he was in his bed with his wife, and so he put him down. And he sat there and he's like, I spent time. I wondered if he was funny. Like I wondered if we met each other in a market would we have gotten
Whole
along.
different deal, yep.
And it's like, and why am I here? Why am I in this desert full with people that don't speak my language, have nothing to do with my heritage, have nothing to do with my culture? Why am I here with a gun? Why? So many people are doing that. Like, yeah, sure. If Mexico decided to invade tomorrow, you sign me up.
Right.
They're coming up.
deal.
But why am I flying 1,000 miles to some desert? Just why? And so many people, I think to Joey's point, so many people are coming to the realization that, like, no, I'm not going to go and die and kill for these oligarchs who are just warmongering fools. I'm not going to do it.
That's the word. Oligarchs ain't just in Russia.
Oh, no doubt.
Ain't just in China.
No doubt.
I think the biggest oligarchs in the world are right here.
Yeah, and we're talking about Putin. We're like, oh, he has world-dominating ambitions. It's like, really? When has he expressed that? Sincerely.
Right.
When has he done that? When
I
has he?
mean, a politician here that don't.
Yeah. Meanwhile, us, where are we? Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon. Like just name them. Pick a number. We've been there.
Well, and I'm
Africa.
happy to understand, for instance, all the fuss being made over Taiwan. From a geopolitical perspective, I get it. If China gets Taiwan, then they can push out from the first island chain. They can start to dominate all the blue water there, right near Asia, and that's a heck of a thing.
Meanwhile, they own South America. Where's the concern there?
Right.
Rare earth minerals. Who are all going to be buying them from? China. And they're doing it right in our face.
Yeah, where's China? China has no military exploits in the past century
Nope.
that I can. Well, no, not century, but in the past several decades, they've had no military exploits. They've supported lots of military exploits in Africa and in South America. They've done all this, but they're doing it. We're actually. It seems like we have bought so hook, line, and sinker into supplying money to our weapons manufacturers that we've stopped actually thinking about what might be the best for America economically and politically, which is what China is doing.
That's exactly. They play the long game.
Oh yeah, they've played it for a while.
Yep. And we for
Well,
whatever reason, we don't even look down the road. We look at, if we're driving a car, we're looking at the dashboard. We don't even make it past the hood.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just a shame to see. The one institution that remains above water in terms of trust and approval by Americans is the military. But I have a feeling it's because the average American is thinking about their brother, their sister, their father, their son, their daughter who's serving right now.
But have a serious conversation with them, and you're gonna come back with some serious doubt.
Oh yeah, some of the best critiques I've heard of the military bureaucracy have come from folks working within it.
Like what they did with folks that didn't want to take the jab.
Mm-hmm. There's that too.
Never forget.
That sounds very white supremacist of you.
Well, they did it to black folks.
Are you a Christian nationalist by any chance?
Not that I know of. My application got rejected from Titus and all.
I saw you reading your Ramazoni the other day. Don't be lying to me.
I was helping out.
By the way, I love that it takes like an erudite, like respectable scholar Jewish guy to write a book on Christian nationalism. I know there are many of them out there.
Yeah,
but that is funny to me. 272.
Have we talked about the tunnels, by the way? We need to talk about the
I brought it up going, what the heck is this? But I
called them Viet Cong Jews, and it got a lot of.
it did.
It got a lot of fun.
Who's that guy?
It is the damnedest thing. It's like, why is there a sullied, soiled mattress
and
right
some
there?
High chairs.
And
Meanwhile, there's just
some
a guy.
blood and bones back there.
A Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Right. There's a big rat.
Well, and there was the guy who shared his old tweets who was like, "You all demand me apology," and it was a guy tweeting about, "I swear I live in the first floor. I hear Yiddish spoken under my floor. It doesn't make any sense."
And people thought you're just being anti-Semitic.
You're being
Just
crazy.
Being crazy.
Meanwhile, he pops out with a pungy stick.
Yeah. Well, and these are the ultra orthodox, the Hasidic Jews.
Yeah, and they say that it came around during COVID. I have no idea.
Yeah. Like, I haven't heard an explanation yet that's actually, like, some said they were trying to get to an ancient bath that was under there that had been out of service.
Ancient bathhouse? What?
Yeah, like something like that. Yeah, and I don't know. That was in the New York Post, I believe. That was one explanation.
It's just so bizarre. 2024 already. So bizarre.
Yeah. Well, it really is. Can't we just go back to Cat Williams? Like, just spilling
What does
tea?
Kanye have to say about that?
272-9228. Again, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And guys, two things affect men the most as we mature. Yeah, ED, erectile dysfunction. And there can be a lot of different causes for that, but also low testosterone. It's nothing to deny. Don't put it off. Don't be ashamed. It's something you shouldn't wait to get fixed. You can get it done, well, today. Guys hate going to the doctor, but Montgomery Men's Health is for guys just like that. So if you're lacking motivation, energy, drive, always tired through the livelong day, seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, even a decreased libido, no sex drive to speak
No
of.
fun there.
Well, you got to figure out in particular, what are your testosterone numbers? Knowing whether you have low testosterone is huge in combating these issues. You know, as you age, testosterone and PSA checks should be a part of your annual men's routine. You should start getting it done. Urologists are recommending now, even at age 18, start to get your testosterone checked.
Start monitoring it.
So Montgomery Men's Health not only can help you, they can help educate you on what might be getting you to feel better in this world if you're feeling down. You know, they have treatments there for low T that truly change lives at Montgomery Men's Health. Men can experience higher energy after these treatments, better gains at the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido after these treatments.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
And you can actually book the same day that you call. Guys, it's time to feel amazing and hit your goals this year. That number for Montgomery Men's Health, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with the updated market report. Over the past 11 and a half months, over 4,100 homes have sold and closed in our MLS system with an average price of $245,000. Houses are selling at listed price throughout the river region, and over 35% are selling in the first 30 days on the market. Rising interest rates tend to keep some people from buying, but it didn't stop over 4,100 families from buying this year. There's a cost to waiting and expecting rates to fall, and that cost is appreciation, which has been rising nearly every month for the last 2 years. So the house that you delay buying this year could cost you $35,000 more next year, even if the rate falls. One alternative is to buy now, refinance when rates improve, and that way you are not paying more for the house that you really wanted. For the facts, call Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values. in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy? I got worms.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. This show is flying by. Wish we could have this cast of characters every day, but y'all got other jobs.
Got the J.O.B.
But maybe we'll get there one day. But we got some calls rolling in here.
Yay.
Let's go to Randall.
What
Hey,
up, Randall? Hey, Randall.
What's happening, man?
How you doing, brother?
I was doing good. You hear that dog barking? That ain't supposed to be there.
Is he chasing you, Randall?
Oh, that's right. Lee, how big that thing is.
That's a big old dog.
Hey, man, that's a big old dog. Man. Hey, no, they ain't putting no dogs in it. Man, they done took over my spot. Anyway, man, what do you think about the military? I mean, I know how y'all been talking, but I mean, you step back and look at it, you can see how it's done on purpose. I guess. How the whole tear down, and we ain't the only country doing it. That's the thing. There's 22 other countries, and that's doing it. I forgot the name of the project. I think it's called Tourette's. I don't know. I can look it up and I'll text it back to Eddie.
PTSD.
Yeah, PTSD. As a project that actually was out, and it's the military doing the transgender, and it's a name that it's named after it could be used for male or female. But I slipped on that part because the dog scared me when I got here. So and I'm blank. But the whole thing is to get these weak-minded, to get the military weak-minded, and that as far as people who are from the United States. Because they're going to fill it with, there's a lot of military-age people poured in this country, bringing the fentanyl with them, and they got their own jails. They setting up China, their own secret jails, and we're letting them. That we closed down 2, but we leave 4 open because the 2 that closed down were illegal China prisons. Now what? But the other ones ain't. Right. And then they already letting illegals, become policemen. And San Francisco and then Michigan. So it's just I think it's so everybody said, well, our own people ain't gonna stand up and pull guns on our own people. Well, it's not gonna be our own people, and their minds are not gonna be in the same way you think, because it's not only they're not toting a piece of the dirt in their pocket when they get here. Our minds are being trained to think the United States is bad. You know what I mean? Like you can't be proud to be from here anymore, and that everybody else is beat down because we stand so tall, and they beating us down from the inside too. But
this is, by the way, Randall, why I'm such a fan of Vivek. I think that guy. There's a video he's been putting out that's got dramatic reenactments harkening back to the Revolutionary War, and it's a brilliant speech about how the people that used to be sort of the rebels and the innovators and the builders eventually become just as incumbent and just as decadent as the folks they replaced generations ago. And it's time for the revolution to recapitulate itself, to be reinvigorated, so you can get back to the ideals that actually bring people together, that people actually love. Instead, I think we have this sort of profane fight over power and stuff, and like who's getting the money distributed their way by pull and privilege. And that, of course, that's driving people miserable and mad at the end of the day.
And I think on that shot part, the reason I don't call it, I think that really pushed people who would stand up against. If you didn't leave the military, you probably won't stand up against some of the stuff that's coming your way anyway. If you did leave, you part of the bloodline they want to get rid of, because they don't want no conversation. They don't want you standing up. They don't need nobody leading a pack of Wolverines that take over from the inside. They got to clear that out.
I caught that Red Dawn reference. I got you. I got that Red Dawn reference.
But Yeah, brother. I love it when y'all are good. I know you can't do it every day, and I love when you by yourself too. Yeah, man, yesterday it was spectacular, man. Like, I don't know if y'all hadn't heard how Joy handled the coaching thing yesterday. Y'all need to go back and listen to it, because it's different than any other show, any other sports show did. He brought the man home and sent him out the door, and I respect that, man. That was pretty cool yesterday how you did that. And then also let people talk up their, their coaching skills at the same time. But man, I appreciate y'all, and I put him up here try to sell a shed, man. Get here the dogs.
Yeah, don't let the dog get you, Randall.
I know they pat my life, like that's what all my kids like little league stuff, like. Yeah. Man, but anyway,
okay,
we'll see y'all, man.
Don't get later, man. See you, brother.
It's actually a decent point that he made there, and it's really interesting in the Christian world, the circles that I travel.
Mhm.
There's actually a rift now, and there's a big push for what's called masculine Christianity.
Mhm.
Act like a man, be
Yeah,
a man,
oh, yeah.
go to the gym, stop eating junk, stop being fat, get competent with your hands, get competent with weaponry, and this is part of your Christian service. And then there's always people who are inevitably fat, soft, and useless who are like, no, we shouldn't do that.
Well, and I would say it's now in the Christian community. I think it's been a long trend in the last decade, where there are a lot of guys who don't have much going on and they ain't doing well. But there are a lot of guys who are still kind of alone. They haven't started family or stuff. But I've heard it called the rise of sort of the warrior scholar.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that that's been, and it's now happening. I've seen it from working with you and Brian. Like, I've seen, especially on Twitter, the fights going on. Right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing is Christians for the history of Christendom have had that mentality. For God's sakes, look at the Scottish Revolution. Look, I mean, what I mentioned before, the Cromwellian Revolution, the Civil War, the English Civil War. Like, these were men who marched to battle while singing psalms, and they did so joyfully. And while the fight isn't military for us, it is a fight nonetheless. And for the longest time, and this is much to the shame of the Christian church, they have let other people do the fighting for them. And that's when this sort of Republican Christian symbiotic thing sort of came forth. It's like, oh, to be Christian is to be Republican. Well, the Republican Party stands against a lot of ideals that Christians should have just as a basal level. Like, this is basic Christianity, and you don't go past that. And yeah, there has been a huge resurgence of young Christian men who are just like, no, this is our fight to fight. It's not our fight to win. It's God's fight to win, but it's our fight to fight, and we should do it joyfully. And that's why you see so many more staunch Christians coming into the culture wars.
And it's fascinating to watch, especially the younger. It's mostly happening with your younger generations.
Yeah.
Let's say 40 and younger. We'll put it that way.
And again, thank God. It's like the type of soft sweater wearing pipsqueaks that like to sit behind Twitter and just be like, oh no, you shouldn't say that, you need to be nice. That's not gonna help whenever the ATM stop spitting out money and the power goes off, or something horrible happens, a solar flare knocks out all the power. No, you need to be competent, you need to be strong, you need to be firm.
Yeah, be ready to go.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to go. And that includes being competent with weaponry, which everyone should be. Go out, go train, go do your thing.
Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam.
What up, Sammy?
Hi, Sam.
Gentlemen, I've been enjoying the show today. Yeah, man, my God is a God of love. And that being said, I know that he'll forgive me if I have to put my foot up somebody's head. The reason I called, I just trying to have a little fun, but guys, I saw
but you know what, Sam? I met you the other day at Sweet Creek, and like, you shouldn't be kicking, man. Don't be kicking.
No, not right now.
You're gonna hurt yourself trying to kick people, especially in the head.
Turf toe.
I can get up there.
It's all just a phrase, a turn of phrase. Oh man, I'm gonna jump track totally. Hey Joe, I've been doing this hyperbaric chamber therapy.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm right here at the end. I've had a little problem, something that didn't want to heal up, and it's working. It's working great. I'm on oxygen under pressure, and then I decided to call in right when I'm all wound up and crazy. But that's okay. But the thing I found out, though, it's become popular. I heard it on Joe Rogan. So once again,
BPC 157.
There you go. I'm participating in the latest fad. I'm just very proud of myself.
No,
You know,
and also TB 500. This isn't medical advice, but just look it up.
TB 500.
TB 500
Well-
and BPC 157. They're a great combo, so I've heard.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, it's been helping me, and I thought that was funny. I got to do the Ozempic fad, and it almost killed me. But I'm having better luck with the oxygen therapy.
Good deal.
All I was going to say is I saw the thing with the young Jewish lads, Jewish fraternity. Had about 40 of these guys in a room. They all they did was make a hole in the wall. The city of New York, the streets is honeycombed, and it was just part of their clubhouse. They were coming over, make them a little smooch area, I guess. But man, the timing was bad. That's all I was getting back to. But it just looked like to me a teenager stunt. But the video has all these people pressed together, ascetic, traditional, garb, hat, and whatnot, and the fight breaks out with the rabbi and the elders. In
Oh
there.
yeah, it's bedlam in there. For a second.
Yeah, man. I had to.
They were 12 guys were arrested. And it was, what a thing. Like, and it was bizarre. Going like, what the heck is even happening here?
They were just trying to close up the hole, and anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Well, they were worried about you're creating structural problems here. These buildings are going to collapse.
Although there's a whole rabbit hole you can go down with the holes in New York City sidewalks and things like that.
Oh,
Secret
sure.
tunnels and
maintenance
tunnels and all that. Yeah.
Imagine there's some secret tunnels.
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
Joey, I joined the Army Engineers, but when I did, I was young and knew nothing. Right about the age those guys look.
Oh, but that's when you could kick a man in the head. Without fear of pulling a hand. All right.
Listen, I'm a lover, not a fighter, man.
Well,
All
God
right,
is love. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, listen, y'all look
Ask
great.
Sodom how
Sound
that
great.
worked out.
Out here.
Later, brother.
2-2. Wait, I didn't mean love that way.
No, I mean, I'm saying he destroyed an entire city.
Oh, yeah.
2, actually. Actually, more than that. Those are just Sodom and Gomorrah, the best examples. So love and violence are not always antithetical to one another.
Well, no, that's true. And then it's also like the little things that are like, not only did I'm going to destroy an entire city, if your wife looks back at it, I'm turning her into a bunch of salt.
So you not tell her, hey, look back when you're running. Hey, look back. You don't tell her that. Tell her to keep looking forward.
Yeah.
Just checking.
It's one of my favorite lines whenever there's a lady who's being a little bit too rambunctious. I'm like, are you Lot's wife? Because you're super salty. It's a little good old Christian Josh.
Look back. I mean, don't look back.
Well, actually, that was in my senior year at Catholic. Somebody got this, snuck it into the yearbook. They do senior quotes in your picture with the quote next to you. One guy, Mark, his was never look back. Abraham Lincoln.
Nice.
I'm like, how did you get that in there?
Nice.
Freaking great.
That's a good.
Let's hit this break.
All right.
Because we're about to get in trouble. Like the last 30 minutes, we've been saying stuff, man.
Debbie can save us on the other end.
I hope so. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
Hello, this is Yasmin Hostin with Beauty and Beyond. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for 10 years plus. If you would like to increase your business, use Blue Water Broadcasting radio stations. They get results.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. The storm that brought the severe weather threat today will be moving away, and in its wake, colder air tonight with the low temperature down to about 32, but the winds will make it seem colder. The high temperature on Saturday only in the upper 40s, but the winds will make it seem colder. Mid-50s Sunday, near 50 on MLK Day Monday with a small chance of rain. Then a big Arctic temperature crash on Tuesday. High temperature only 37 and down to the teens on Tuesday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Love is in the air and on the boat. The Harriet II riverboat, that is. Bring your special someone for a romantic evening and experience the elegance of cruising the Alabama River. Enjoy a delicious dinner while taking in the stunning sights. Dance the night away to the tunes that touch your soul, or just sit back and relax. Roses and champagne complete your lover's evening. You have 4 nights to choose from, February 14th, 15th, 16th, or 17th. Book your Valentine's cruise at funinmontgomery.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Got a full cast of characters here today. Oh, look, it's Nikki Haley. Is she going to do well in Iowa?
I would think so, but the press is going to make it look like it no matter what.
I really hope. I'm not predicting it because I'm used to losing, but I would love to see a big upset in Iowa.
You and me both, bro.
Like a very strong finish for Vivek would be a beautiful thing to see. It kind of tests the proposition whether or not new media is going to start to drive the conversation more than the old corporate press, but we shall see. It might still be too early.
I think you're right on your money here.
I think so, too.
We are primed to see new media, and you've been saying this for what, well over a year.
Yeah, well, and the two people that really banked on this were RFK Jr. and Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
And it's a great question right now. Yeah. And even a lot of podcasters are wondering that. The people doing these interviews are like, I'm doing this and I'm getting a lot of reaction, millions of people watching, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's go to Debbie. Hello, Debbie.
Hey, Debbie.
Hi. You guys needed to be bailed out, huh?
Kind of sounds like us on a regular day.
I heard you talking a little sexist over there. Then people gonna get on you.
Again, it sounds like us on every day.
Bring it on. I'm not sexist. I love bras.
You're sexless.
Oh.
Nice one. Clip that, baby.
I love it when a good dame is put in her place. You know what I mean?
Okay, guys, I can tell that testosterone is flowing over there.
Thank you, Montgomery Men's Health.
That's right. I know you got to make sure you handle your sponsors well. Talking about sponsors, I went to TI Repairs and had my phone fixed.
XI Repair.
Good. XI, thank you. Oh my gosh, I messed that one up.
TI Repairs, you can have whatever you like.
Thank you very much. But what I was going to say is, I have a lot of family that's military. Some of them retired, some of them not. Still hanging in there, and they've been through several, different presidents and what have you. And each time you have a new president come in, policies change. It is very difficult for somebody who wants to make a career out of politics out of the military because of the politics, And all I can say is I believe what's going on, why there's been such a decline in people interested, is because now people are actually hearing and seeing what's really going on in the world, more so than they used to. And they're seeing for, maybe their buddies have been in, maybe their family members have been in, and they're seeing what they're telling them is not what they're being told on the mass media.
Yeah, and it's a mix of what I'm seeing is either depraved and disgusting, and there's a lot of that, or it's like, oh, that man behind the curtain's just a little man pulling levers. Like the Great Oz ain't all that impressive, actually.
Exactly right.
There's a lot of that going on.
Exactly.
And I think it's disenchanting. And like I said, when you have different people, with very different policies coming into your hopeful career, and you're sitting there having to question, can I hang in at least 4 years until this guy's out? And, it's hard. It's a very difficult thing because, you want to finish your career out, but at the same time, if the new guy comes in and he's totally opposite of what you always believed, it's a hard thing to swallow.
When I'm constantly in the position of that shouldn't even be a factor. The most important elections should be your local elections. And instead, everything's flipped the other way around. The most important election with all the energy and money and time is the presidential cycle. And people could really give a damn about local politics. Just look at the voting rates.
Ugh.
And you can call them lazy, you can call them apathetic, you can call no, I think it's people who are just wise to the game that's being played now and how sadly our government works.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta run, Debbie. We got some other calls here and run out of time.
Hey, thank you.
See you, Debbie. Have a great weekend.
Before we go to some other callers, you said Ray is a bit
Ray is
busy.
in Atlanta in a thunderstorm right now, so I thought it'd be best if we just talk about it.
Well, drive safe, Ray. But they've got some amazing deals still there.
They sure do, man.
What, $5 a foot?
That's what I was going to say. That laminate, $5 a foot, man. And that's good looking stuff too.
Yeah, you can stop by. We often tell you to call 285-8117. 2201 Copsworth Road.
That's right. Go by there, get you a sample. Whether it's you're looking for vinyl flooring or you're looking for carpet, you can take home a sample. You can see what that feels like. Even tile.
Right, or traditional hardwood.
That's exactly right, Joey.
In the house I'm in now, there's some traditional hardwood, and I forgot how great that stuff is when you're wearing socks.
Yeah, and it always looks wet. I've seen it. It's
great.
Got that sheen to it. It looks beautiful.
And, of course, they'll come to you. Free in-home measurement. And actually, that's the best way to start the process. Get the area you want to resurface measured. That way, when you pick out your product, how you want to resurface it, you'll know the exact price. And they'll come in, get the job done. So call Ray and the team today, 285-8117. Be sure to tell them that you heard about them here with those Joey and Eddie fellows on the radio. Let's go to Roger.
Hey, Roger.
Stocks and hard. Joey, you've been practicing the Tom Cruise move to risky business.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Is that why you're calling out the stocks and the hardwood floor?
Yeah, my response to that is dance, music, sex, romance. All right?
That kind of makes sense.
Like, Risky Business is a great movie and had a great soundtrack. Sue me.
You don't remember the good old days. Hey, Eddie does. Remember Mutual of Omaha's
Wild Kingdom, one of my favorite shows. Watch it every Sunday night with my daddy.
You had, what was his helper's name?
Jim Fowler.
The sidekick.
Yeah, Jim, the one that had to go wrestle the animals. By Merlin Perkins. Marlon Perkins told us about it.
Absolutely. Marlon sat up on the boat and knocked down 3 fingers of scotch.
Right. Exactly.
Don't let that gator bite you.
Exactly right. Ooh, that one's got you, buddy.
That's what sidekicks do. Now, you're a sidekick, aren't you there, Eddie?
Yeah, and believe me, I take on the monsters by answering the telephone.
Oh, yeah, he
You
does.
you do the dirty work for free. Is that why?
Pretty much. Although I do have a limit.
You had Tonto, the Lone Ranger,
Mhm.
and in the Batcave, we don't really want to know what was going on in the Batcave, okay? Now, so the Batman, he had the little bat voice. Is that what he didn't do a whole lot.
No, Robin just kind of stood there. He was more like the eye candy.
Now, Tonto was the man.
Yes.
He always did Lone Ranger's work. Joey, you need to work on different. What about that chick that was in earlier this week? She made a pretty good sidekick.
Madeline?
Madeline, I love
Oh,
Madeline.
she's lovely. She's great.
love Madeline.
Ronnie, today, tell Eddie he's got
Okay.
with that application for a new sidekick right now.
There you go.
I was thinking about trying to save a thought from Instagram or from OnlyFans, though.
Yeah.
Like, redeem them in a way.
Good luck with that.
No, use sexuality to your advantage.
Oh,
sells, Joey.
okay. Well, I'm trying to be more wholesome. Like, I mean,
No,
I'm failing, but
I
I'm
was gonna say,
trying.
how's that working for you there, champ?
there's no money in that.
Unless you're in the
You know,
government.
we like a sleek blonde with big boobs, a little on the trashy side. We don't care how well she talks. You talk well enough. You talk over our head anyway. We can't hardly understand half of what you say.
Where would you meet this girl at?
Actually, I mean,
asking for a friend.
Seriously, if we want to
Waffle
get
House.
the numbers up on the stream, well, you should just listen to Roger here. Like, he's not wrong.
I got a plan. You know I got a plan.
But I appreciate the call, Roger. I'm running out of time here.
Have a good one, Roger.
Bye, Roger.
And Papa John, we really have about 30 seconds left, but what's up?
I'm going to go real quick. I found out or heard today that the governor of Texas has removed the border agents at a place called Eagle Pass.
Correct.
Yep.
Which happens to be and he's replaced them with the Texas National Guard, which makes me think maybe there's about to be a confrontation between the state of Texas and the federal government, and I want to see who wins out. Part of my thoughts is if this does happen with the Texas National Guard and the feds decide that it's not worth going in and having some kind of a confrontation, what a great political statement if you would have other governors from other states, especially those who don't have a border with Mexico, and have them send their own National Guard troops into Texas to assist. Now, that would be a statement by the states saying to the federal government, we're not going to put up with this anymore. We're going to get it under control, and you're going to leave it alone because we're not going to allow you down here to do it. And this may be, as Dan Bongino says, it may be bad enough right now where something's going to happen that's going to turn the tide. And I sure hope it does.
Yeah, we brought
Y'all
this
have a
up.
great-
We brought this up earlier, and my comment was essentially, "God bless the Republic of Texas." You have a good day too, Papa.
Yeah,
Papa.
Ron, y'all have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend,
Talk
bro.
to you later.
Well, and gentlemen, thank you both for being here today.
My pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Flew by. If folks want to follow your work, Greg, how can they do so online?
They can follow my published works at 1819news.com. They can also try to follow me on Twitter, but considering the fact that I get daily death threats, it's still a little bit locked up. So follow me, and as I've said before, if your picture is an anime character, I will block you immediately without any further hesitation. So just have a decent picture.
So you're shooting me twice down. I cannot harass you anymore, nor can I put up my...
No, you can't. I'm all locked down.
I appreciate you letting me know.
Well, stop with the Goku fanboy crap.
Thought it was pretty cool. I got hooked.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
My bad.
You know,
Sailor
when
Sailor
Gohan
Moon.
learns how to actually fight, it's kind of a fun arc.
I see Eddie seemed like a Sailor Moon type guy to me.
I gotta leave. That made me laugh too
Thank you,
hard.
ladies.
Hey, Craig Budell at Happy Hours next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott.